don't know. I'm just everything's going wrong, and I don't know what to do. I don't know, but I might go back to me.
107.5 The Game.
Thursday morning, Cinco de Mayo. Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen. Did you just realize that?
No, I just said, oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love it because Mexican food is my favorite food.
All right, there you go.
Hands
okay.
down.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I brought news to you, which I was going to feel good about, or if you're just really super excited. I think
I discovered my favorite restaurant in Colombia this day last year.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You want to give them a shout out?
Tacos Nayarit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Where is this?
So good. It's on what is it? Percival?
You looking it up now?
I'm looking it up. It used to, it's Percival Road.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently it used to be a food truck, but then it was so popular that they, I guess, got a brick and mortar, like an actual restaurant.
Right.
But I have lived in only downtown Columbia. Like I've lived in, Granby. Then I lived 2 places on Rosewood, and now I'm up by Benedict. So I've had 4 homes in Columbia. They're all within a mile and a half of each other.
Okay.
I've never, I don't like venture out too often unless I need to. What?
You venturing out? That not
no,
venturing
like
out
venture outside
me.
downtown. Like,
right? Yeah,
Lexington's a half-hour drive for me, or 25-minute drive, whatever it is. So I'm not like going to Lexington for lunch ever.
Yeah,
like, I stay local because everything is close. Unless I'm going to the mall or something like that, I'm pretty much in a 10-minute radius of downtown Columbia. So
okay,
I don't like drive far away for food, but that place, love that place. Incredible.
Awesome.
All right,
Birria style tacos.
Okay,
the greatest.
Might be on the calendar. I might have to change my calendar a little bit today. They have a picture up now that you of you. Now that you have,
no, it's very popular.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very popular.
Well, you should tell them you're a celebrity now.
It's right by Fort Jackson, so I always see guys going on their lunch break in there.
I mean, you are a celebrity. They should honor you a little bit. Put a little picture of kind of.
I was just gonna say maybe he should walk in with an 8x10,
glossy,
signed.
Yeah. Have them put it up.
Free tacos every week.
Yeah, that would be. There are perks to this job. Free tacos should be one of them.
I can't disagree. Some guacamole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So
what will you have Mexican food today? Like, will
you know
prioritize that because of this Cinco de
I
Mayo?
did not eat much dinner last night. It was a very soccer filled yesterday, to be quite honest. After the interview with Tony Annan, and then I really got into Real Madrid and
Champions League
and Man City yesterday, and the incredible finish to that. And then we had a soccer scrimmage last night. Anyway, all that leads me to saying I didn't really get home and settle until 8:30, so it was a very light dinner. And then I went from soccer to hockey. I was all invested in the hockey game, the fight that a hockey game broke out between the Hurricanes and the Boston. Every time I looked up, the Boston Bruins had 3 guys in the penalty box last night, and I'm pretty sure at one point they had 4. And they still had 3 guys on the ice. I'm guessing that's a rule where you still have to play with 3 skaters and a goalie. But
they just stuff the penalty box.
They just stuff. I mean, literally the Bruins and a good buddy Dennis Rowe out at Love Chevy. He's a big Bruins fan. I was texting with him on Tuesday, and he was wishing me a happy birthday. And I was telling him his Bruins took it on the chin to the Hurricanes on Monday night, and they took it on the chin again. That matches that series is very physical right now. Those 2 teams fought literally every time there was a stoppage last night.
That hit from Svechnikov on Lindholm. Did you see that one where he's coming around behind the cage?
Yeah.
Oh, it knocked the wind out of me just watching it.
And
my goodness.
I mean, it was this is the time of year where obviously little NBA playoffs I'll get into, I'll get more into the NHL, but some of it's because of last night and the absolute physical nature of the Hurricane Bruin series. The Hurricanes going to win. They take a 2-0 series lead. They'll go back to Boston for this coming weekend. Yeah, commanding.
They've dominated both games.
They really have. And last night, they knock off the Bruins. Last night, the Heat take down the 76ers in the NBA playoffs, 119-103. Phoenix and Dallas play another pretty good ball game there. But Phoenix gets the best of Dallas, 129-109. So the Heat with a 2-0 series lead. The Sixers with a 2-0 series lead. We'll give you more. When I say we'll give you more, just some of the stuff that we'll kind of talk about this morning, getting into a little bit in the NHL and the NBA. But we'll focus on several other topics this morning as well. South Carolina baseball, Patrick, last night. Listen to just a little bit of it. It is funny. We've kind of made fun. I doubt she's up and at it with us this morning on the live stream just yet. Usually she's a little bit more of a late riser. But our good friend Hope, who joins us on the live stream, and we've talked about her tweeting habits in the past.
Yeah, give up one run and okay, it's over.
And
we lost.
so
we're done.
I got in the car last night. South Carolina's up 6-0 and through the third, and they're just rolling. And at one point, it was like 8-2 or 8-3. I forget what exactly the score was that I kind of flipped over. And so I get on Twitter for just a minute, and she tweets out, "This pitching staff." And there was a couple, and I'm like, "Oh God, are they blowing it? Like, is something bad happened?" And I flip over, and it's 9-4, and I'm like, "They're
Relax,
5."
relax. Yeah.
So, South Carolina last night, Eli Jones picks up the victory. South Carolina rolls. They win 9-4. They did give up 3 runs in the 7th, but then turned around and put 2 more up to pretty much close the ball game out. 15 hits for the Gamecocks, just 8 for North Carolina A&T. South Carolina moves to 23-20 on the season and will fly out for College Station this morning. I know our own Tommy Moody. You and I were talking with Tommy Moody about that, Monday or Tuesday, and I believe they will be getting on the bus to head up to Charlotte to fly to Houston to bus up to College Station this morning so they can get to College Station and get ready for a very big series against Texas A&M. But they win last night. There's no real story to that or nothing to really break down or analyze. North Carolina A&T was 13-30 on the season. You basically couldn't lose that ball game.
Well,
you couldn't. I mean, you
Xavier
lose
was pretty
it.
bad.
You
Xavier
lose
was
it
pretty bad too.
But you really
didn't PC lose like 25-0 the game after they played South Carolina?
Oh no, it was the game before they lost 36-4 or something.
I don't know. I couldn't remember. I just know it was brutal.
So yeah, so South Carolina wins last night. Eli Jones picks up the victory. Gamecocks now 23-20 on the season, and again the big series this coming weekend in College Station against Texas A&M. So that's just some of the things that happened in sports last night in terms of actual competition. I want to get back into Patrick.
Did you see Jess's text? Or was it Jess? Yeah. The Madison Bumgarner thing.
He was I saw something about that.
It was
last night.
Bizarre. If you just type in Madison Bumgarner on Twitter and like switch to the videos tab, it was really, really bizarre. Like, got ejected because the ump was doing a excessive substance check, and staring him dead in the eyes. And then Madison Bumgarner said a couple things to him, and he ejected him. And then Madison Bumgarner tried to murder him, tried to rip his head off. But it's like, if you watch the video and then watch how they checked the other guy, the other pitcher, the ump for some reason clearly had it out for Madison Bumgarner and was staring into his soul while he did the hand check, begging him to say something so he could eject him. I don't understand it. I don't know if there's some history there, but it was weird. It was a really weird situation. I would think that that ump has to face discipline.
Baseball. I mean, obviously the efforts to curtail whatever. Although I feel like I remember growing up, and I feel like as I was growing up that I would read books. My dad would give me these baseball books, and it was kind of like just an ode to baseball history. And some of it was like from the 40s. It would just talk about old timey stuff, 40s, 50s, 60s type stuff. And basically it was almost like, man, those pitchers back then were awesome because they had so many ways to cheat to throw the baseball. Like, pine tar underneath the hat.
But there was that was nothing to do with this. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. The ump just had it out for him somehow.
Where I was going with this is the effort to do all these little the checks and the test when they come out to make sure that there's nothing in the glove or nothing in the hat or nothing underneath the belt or wherever it may be. It's kind of interesting, and I think it leads to situations like this.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think he would just be calling balls every time Madison Bumgarner threw a strike.
Yeah,
like, he was clearly trying to incite something. It was weird.
803-404-6100. We'll get into that this morning. I want to get back into that Ryan Tannehill story that we had with you yesterday and talk about what it means to be a leader. Not so much Ryan Tannehill, but what it means to be a leader. We'll get into all that and more. We got a lot to get to this morning. Coming up at 7:30 this morning, Cory Holmes, new Cardinal Newman head football coach and former South Carolina offensive lineman, will join us. And then at 8:40, it is officially Goodyear 400 time. Patrick's fired up. You got the jambalaya ready?
I don't. My dad's prepping it though.
Okay. Perrette family's got the jambalaya ready. We will catch up with Cory.
So yeah, I'm gonna need your position where you're gonna be too, because we're gonna be there and in the infield. So like I'm gonna have to check
Oh, you
out.
could be in the is the infield where all the RVs are?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
When are you going? Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll need directions to get to the
The
Perrette
Jambalaya
party.
is Saturday. We'll have leftovers though. We'll have leftovers in the
Okay.
fridge.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Good. We'll talk about that. We've got to come up with some strategy. We'll come up. Maybe we'll do something with Darlington, since both of you now will be there for the wager. It's their. We'll
Yeah.
do the wager Friday. We'll make it a wager Friday. You got the wheel in there. We'll get all that going. So we got a lot. We got a lot that we've got to get sorted out here on the Thursday morning episode. It's Bill Gunner. It's Patrick Perrette. It's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on the next Extra Point.
Hey guys, Pearson Fowler here from the Extra Point. Coming up on the Thursday Extra Point, lots of Carolina baseball, the North Carolina A&T midweek game. How'd Carolina do? And as we look ahead to South Carolina and Texas A&M, what is fair to expect in a high-pressure series for the Gamecocks? Some NBA playoff thoughts and a few more thoughts on South Carolina Gamecocks. Looking ahead to the 2023 draft. I get it. Way too early, but as long as we say it's way too early, we're acknowledging it and we can still talk about it.
The Extra Point with Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central. 9 a.m. to noon on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. The game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center. Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Just one accident to let you know about early this Thursday morning. Two Notch Road near Park Lane Road. You'll find a tie up there. And your forecast for today, sunny and just plain hot. 90 for the high, your overnight low of 68. Tomorrow, 88 on Saturday, that is.
Should we turn these on?
Yeah, there's nothing really that makes sense.
But do y'all have say Sunday morning? Do y'all have like a griddle or?
Yeah, there's gonna be a grill in the RV has stuff. I think she said she was gonna make like a quiche or something just to heat up.
All right, back to the live stream. Yes, I actually am. I really am surprised to be saying that, but yes, I am actually thrilled to be sitting this morning. This is actually continuing to be an interesting story on name, image, likeness. We'll get into a little bit of that. Yeah.
The Sankey and what's his face meeting with Congress.
Yeah,
I read that
right
story
here.
yesterday.
SEC and Pac-12 commissioners.
What's the Pac-12 commissioner's name?
George.
Is it Greek or something?
George Cleek.
Klobitis or something like that. Klyavkov.
Our professional client knows how to pronounce it just properly.
I'm going to say Klyavkov. Klyavkov. Klyavkov, yeah. Did Cory Holmes play in the NFL?
I think he went and tried out.
Wait, I didn't know he started at Wake Forest.
What? I think you're right on that. Why?
He did start at Wake Forest.
See, that would be Cory Holmes actually would be a really good interview, but now it's going to have to be like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we could ask him about the transfer portal and everything, and I don't like keeping people through the break to do another segment unless they're in the studio, obviously.
Yeah. What time is it?
7:30. So next hour we'll do a very short first segment.
10 and
very short.
24.
Yeah. See, and y'all said, well, now you get to see the true behind the scenes stuff. We were just talking about how to do breaks. Yep, Texas for the first time I saw that. That was.
Two weeks from today. My last day before I go to Austin. Check out the stadium.
You'll be okay.
I do love their campus.
Yeah, there was a lot yesterday sports-wise, Patrick, that I got into. Again, the Champions League match. Had fun talking with Tony Annan yesterday, so I was fully invested.
You excited for the championship?
Liverpool and Liverpool and Real Madrid.
Yep,
it should be good. I'm getting it.
Mo Salah will be there.
Look, cutting up with Coach Annan yesterday. I'm another step forward, broadening the sports horizon of what I get into, getting ready for World Cup.
It does make you feel there's a level when you talking about soccer, international soccer as an American. There is a gray area where you go from cultured to pretentious, and you got to walk that line.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
because nobody likes that guy that says, "Yeah, American sports are really dumb. I really just watch European soccer."
I'll never come in here and be able to tell you like Mo Salah and what team he plays for.
Can't believe you're talking about that when the Seattle Sounders won the CONCACAF Champions League yesterday.
Totally didn't know that. I'm not going to be that guy who's coming in here and like what I like in sports.
But I do feel guilty about it that I don't like watching the MLS.
Well, no, I know.
But I will watch the Premier League in the morning.
I can break this down for you precisely why. It's the same reason that I'd gotten into hockey, but I love playoff hockey, is even on television, I love watching great environments. You and I had that discussion.
There's great environments in the MLS, though. Portland, Seattle. There's some soccer towns. There's some soccer-crazy towns in
I'd
America.
rather go to those games than I would watch them on television. It's kind of like you and I had this discussion about college basketball, 2 years ago now?
Was it empty gyms?
Yeah. And we were like, man, we're both college basketball fans. We get into it. You growing up, pulling from Maryland, that's a basketball place.
Yeah,
that's a huge.
By the way, you see who's on Jermaine Couisnard's list of finalists?
Is it Maryland?
Maryland's on there.
Ohio State, Oregon.
I was surprised Maryland offered him.
Maryland, Ohio State, Oregon, Gonzaga were the four that I had originally seen. Who's the fifth? Do you know who the fifth is?
I don't know. I saw Rothstein put the tweet out.
Okay. I know that those four were initially there. I thought Oregon and Ohio State were the two that were considered to be the front runners for Jermaine Couisnard. But let me go back to this. I liked watching that, and I like watching that kind of soccer for the same reason that I get into hockey. Like, I really can't tell you a whole lot about the actual players, the players in hockey, but I like watching fun environments, really fun, intense environments. And last night, the Carolina Hurricanes at PNC Arena up in Raleigh, it was a great environment. I'm I'm not going to go out of my way to watch NHL hockey. The next game had a phenomenal environment. The Minnesota Wild last night, and they scored a minute and a half in, and it was absolutely insane. People are going crazy, and it was 10:05, and I was like, yeah, I got to do a morning show. I'm not going to stay up all night checking out staying up all night watching the Minnesota Wild here play hockey. It's not that important to me. And it's kind of the same thing with soccer. I wouldn't, if I'd have been doing other things, if there had been college football on or something, I probably would have watched anything else. But it was a great environment and a lot of fun yesterday. But you had that. Last night you had NBA playoffs going on. You had South Carolina baseball. They win 9-4 last night. So lost in all that was the Madison Bumgarner. And this really is a strange situation. And a couple of you are hitting up, and I'll ask you, Patrick, how you feel about robot umpires. Newberry Chris says they will eventually happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I am kind of torn on that. And I'm torn on whether I want it to happen or not, because I think that guy, I would fire that ump tomorrow. That's what I would do. That guy does not, because there's a level to which these guys are just power hungry, and they love being in a position of authority, and they're probably baseball fans, grew up playing baseball but weren't good enough to be in the MLB. They became umps, and they love having some sort of authority over the guys that can actually play at a high level. And that guy was clearly chomping at the bit to get in an argument with Madison Bumgarner, and is probably just a hardo meathead and just has no business being in that position. So yeah, I think robot umps will be better for that. But also I love that happened yesterday. I got to watch it on Twitter, and we get to talk about it.
So part of the story, and Chris hits us up, and I went back and looked to see who exactly it was. Is the home plate umpire the one that's always in charge of doing the checking for foreign substances?
No, because they had two different guys. That guy that checked Bumgarner was not the same guy that checked the other pitcher.
Right. And I'm going to have to go back and look, but I thought it was always supposed to be the home plate umpire, the one calling balls and strikes. Yesterday, the person who threw Madison Bumgarner out was first base umpire Dan Bellino. And Chris hits us up on the text line and makes a good point. He says the whole Bumgarner situation was bizarre. He gave up the leadoff run, then got the next three people out. But in there, he'd already shown up the home plate umpire with reactions to balls and strikes. There was obviously a call early on. They've been showing it on the TV here in front of us as SportsCenter rolls along. There was a call early on. Bumgarner threw I think it was a 3-2 pitch or something, or a 2-2 pitch, and it was just off the outside corner, and Bumgarner thought it was a strike, basically was walking off the mound, did kind of show him up. But Chris, on our text line, the umpire checking was not the plate umpire. He was absolutely trying to bully Madison. He didn't even look at his hands. He was just staring straight up at his eyes.
It's clear as that. You don't have to know anything about baseball to know that that's what was happening. I mean, he was staring daggers at him.
I mean, what? Why?
Apparently just because Bumgarner was within the first inning already arguing balls and strikes, so they just had it out for him and said, we're just getting rid of this guy.
Gene weighs in on the text line, makes a good point. He says, evidently, that umpire assumed the fans came to watch him.
Yeah. He did, yeah. And they do kind of have an issue, because do you see the Kyle Schwarber last week or 2 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
Slamming his bat and going ballistic on Angel Hernandez, because he's apparently just horrendous.
Yeah,
and was bad on both sides, and you could see Schwarber mouthing all night, both teams, both sides. You could read his lips, and it was so clear.
Out.
Everyone loved it too. Everyone applauded Schwarber. Yes, finally someone takes a stand, because he is just terrible. So,
I can't, and I'm still surprised that he's still around.
Yeah,
because you hear his name quite a bit. I mean, a lot of times, at least, I don't think most people know the names of many of the umpires.
No, if you know the name, it's probably
that's a problem.
bad thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Teddy Valentine in college basketball.
Ed Hockey League.
No, but in the NFL, I think it's different, because you actually do kind of know NFL refs.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, don't they kind of announce that a little bit more? I don't know.
Their
I
names pop up when they're
Yeah.
going to make a call, and it is kind of, and you just recognize them because they walk in and the camera they get a little solo shot and they announce their call, and it's a little bit different. You shouldn't ever really know the name of, Joey Crawford is the one I know in the NBA, the only one I know in the NBA. Teddy Valentine's the only one I know in college basketball. Angel Hernandez is the only one I know in baseball, and they're all known to just be terrible or making it all about themselves.
We'll continue talking about this. It's a good discussion. We just have to go to a break. It's 803-404-6100. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Want to go see the Columbia Fireflies? Be listening for your chance to win tickets all this week on 107.5 The Game.
that time where it's that time of the year where we're going to find out who is the fastest car down at Darlington. Is it a Chevy? Is it a Ford? Is it a Tesla? Does Tesla run in the Goodyear 400 yet? Do they produce cars yet for the?
Not quite yet.
Not
I'm
quite.
kind of curious. That'd be an you're good, Patrick. I'm thinking now. Can you imagine plugging in the cars?
Yeah,
For
having to stop for the on the
and plugging it in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
You're good.
I can pretty much guarantee it'll be a Chevy though. Gonna
Absolutely.
have to do some research and see who drives the Chevy though to figure out which one of those drivers I'm going to take this afternoon. And if you want to participate in the Goodyear 400, you probably need a different kind of driver's license. If you just want to get the kids to school, it's good time to go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. The great thing about going to visit Love Chevrolet to purchase your car is you're getting the utmost respect. You're getting treated like someone who is making a big decision in your life. Buying a car these days, it can be expensive. And at Love Chevrolet, they're going to make sure you feel comfortable spending that amount of money. That's why I go to Love Chevrolet. They don't just treat you like someone who wandered onto the lot looking for a car. They treat you like a family member. That's why they've been in business for 60 plus years since they opened the doors in 1961. The great folks at Love Chevrolet respect their customers. And that's why right now, even in a time of high demand and low supply, they're not adding extra add-ons to the sticker price to take advantage of the customers. It's business as usual at Love Chevrolet. That's why I believe in them. That's why I endorse them, why I talk about them, because it's a company that I thoroughly believe in and how they treat their customers. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. You can go out there and check out the incredible selection of vehicles, but most importantly, that incredible sales staff that takes care of their customers from the moment you come on the lot to the moment you drive off with that brand new Chevrolet. Love Chevy, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
Well, good news. Earlier accidents have been cleared, and now we have none to report. No major slowdowns as well. Weather-wise, it's going to be hot today. 94 the high, 88 tomorrow. Could see some afternoon or evening storms. And then we cool down a smidge. 79 for Saturday. Right now, it's 70, 107.5 The Game.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Metz Plumbing is growing and looking for exceptional plumbers and apprentices. If you enjoy helping people and our community, if you want a flexible work schedule, if you're looking to earn $85,000 to $100,000 per year plus benefits and paid time off, if you want free training in order to become a licensed plumber, and if you're ready for a rewarding career as part of a family, then we want to talk to you. For information, call Ashley at 732-DRIP or apply online at metzplumbing.com.
Metz Plumbing, 732-DRIP.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. If Tom Brady wants to celebrate Oktoberfest in Munich with an avocado beer, now he can. The Bucs will host Seattle this year in the first regular season game ever played in Germany. That is one of 5 international games announced Wednesday, with the Vikings, Saints, Giants, and Packers, and Jags and Denver all facing off in London, while Arizona plays the Niners in Mexico City. This is an exciting time to be an Eagle. That's what quarterback Jalen Hurts said Wednesday when he was asked about Philly's trade for Pro Bowl receiver A.J. Brown. Hurts also praised Brown's ability to, quote, box out defenders, break tackles. Steelers.
There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, we were sitting here. Angel is just a demon. I like that, Anthony. Rolling rolling along. Let's see. Cory Holmes today. Okay, and you got Canty Foundation in the next break. The Heat are rolling along, Patrick. I feel like this is our year. Although they got hammered by the Suns several weeks ago.
I think the Suns are winning the finals.
So the one thing I didn't understand, so really yesterday was all about the aggregate score.
Yeah.
That was all that really mattered.
Yeah. That's what all the knockout rounds of that's what every round of the Champions League is until the finals. The final game is just a one game.
Okay. So you could lose 2 games. How many do they play?
2. One leg, one home game on each side.
(803-404-6100). How you can be a part of the program. Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen, carrying you along here on a May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And Patrick was talking about his favorite Mexican restaurant just a little while ago. Give it a shout out again. Who you got there?
Tacos Nayarit.
Tacos Nayarit.
Okay. Birria style tacos where they, you know what birria is?
No.
It's where they make the taco, but when they throw it back on the griddle or whatever after it's made, then they pour consomme on it, which is like the juices that the meat is cooked in.
Ah, okay.
And then they pour it so it's nice and stuck together through meat juice. It's unreal.
Okay.
It's so good.
So there you go. Les weighed in earlier. It said, I'm with Patrick. Mexican food is delicious. His favorite is Yolanda's at the Mexican restaurant. 3 chicken enchiladas with ranchero sauce, refried beans, and rice.
There's also a place on Augusta Road, La Poblanita. It's a food truck. They have a nice little, I guess, like a checkerboard, like patio. It's nice.
Okay.
I like that place too.
All right.
Got beef tongue there.
Where's this at?
It's on Augusta Road.
Okay. Augusta Highway.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So, yeah. Cinco de Mayo we probably will not celebrate that with eating in studio this morning.
Please just don't go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's not.
Don't do that.
Not the direction. You try to do a little authentic today. Get out and enjoy that. Maybe is it Mexican? What do you think is more desired today? Mexican beer or a margarita?
Margarita. I don't like Mexican beer.
Really?
It's like it's my least favorite type of beer.
Okay.
I don't like Corona.
I was gonna say, is Corona basically the Taco Bell of like the Mexican beer? Or is that a pretty fair? Because I'm a Corona. I'll drink a couple Coronas, put the lime in.
It's weird because a lot of people that don't like beer like Corona.
Yeah, to me, it's a lighter beer. Yeah. And I'm not a huge beer drinker, but yeah, I didn't know if people will go if you have a drink on Cinco de Mayo.
I struggle with I love the Mexican food. I struggle with the beverages.
Okay.
Because margaritas hurt my tummy. I drink them way too fast and all the sugar just gets to me right away.
You get so excited just to be drinking a margarita.
Yeah. But they're so sugary. If you drink a couple margaritas, my stomach just hurts.
803-404-6100. How you can weigh in this morning. We've talked a little bit about Angel Hernandez was mentioned. Anthony on our Buford Lending live stream says Angel is just a demon. No one has liked him for 15 years, and he still has a job. We've talked a little bit about the situation with Madison Bumgarner last night, where he was ejected after 1 inning. That was the other thing. He pitched 1 inning last night. This wasn't after 3 or 4 innings and anything suspicious. He was ejected immediately, and it kind of led to a couple confrontations last night across sports. The Carolina Hurricanes, Boston Bruins was nothing but a fight where a hockey match actually broke out, and you had to declare a winner that basically wasn't a fight. But yeah, the Madison Bumgarner thing and the umpires, Patrick, it is interesting. I've seen this discussion before about robotic umpires coming to Major League Baseball. I just don't know if that's something that'll ever happen.
Does the MLB like that this happened yesterday?
Well, but you know what? When people talk about how the MLB is stale and people aren't as invested, don't you want this to kind of bring the eyes back to the screen a little bit? Like if you have robotic umpires, like, okay, what's the fun in that? We're all talking about baseball this morning.
I will contend that one of the things, and I can't say I'm old enough or really paid enough attention, Jen, to to say that it was an attraction for me, but I've talked to people who used to be and still to some extent are big NASCAR fans, but used to really be.
Mhm.
And I think we've talked with Kerry Tharp or somebody about how back in the day there was more tension between drivers than there is now.
Mhm.
That back in the day it was pit, Monday through Friday in the pit area there as you're getting your car ready. It was a little bit more. There was a few more words exchanged. There was less buddy.
It's the garages, but okay.
Garages, sure. Well, okay. This is
Well, being a NASCAR guru, I just want to make sure you knew that they're not all sitting in the
right
pits,
now. I'm
but-
not. There's a one-eyed man right now crushing us in the daggum pick series.
Woo.
Reggie has got 43 points, and I've got 33. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll bring the sheet in a second. But yeah, Reggie has 43. You have 33. Carrie and I have 26.
It's like the lucky. This is what was the soccer team in Europe that never won anything a few years ago that went on that
Leicester?
Leicester?
Yeah.
That basically
Leicester.
was the doormat of European soccer and then comes out of nowhere to win. What did they win?
They won the Premier League.
Yeah. Out of nowhere. That's the equivalent of what Reggie Anderson is doing right now.
Even though Reggie, you just make me laugh because you know nothing about NASCAR. You have won on luck, and now you're saying, "Oh, he's winning on luck." And
but
that's
Jen,
not
I've won
fair.
on luck for 3 years.
That is a great comparison though, because it's not a one-off. It's not a one-off.
No.
Because that was a crazy thing about Leicester. Like, it's not like they just beat Barcelona or somebody in one game. They won the league, which is a season-long deal.
Yeah.
Reggie's not just. He's not just.
He didn't just pick a winner once. He's picked it. How many times has he picked a winner, Jen?
I mean,
4?
gosh, it's been at least 3. I'd have to look at the sheet, but
yeah.
There's
not a blind squirrel situation.
No doubt in my mind that Reggie has gone into the future and come back with all the race results and is actually absolutely dominating. Several of you weighing in on the Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, good suggestion from Matt. Cocos and beer is great.
In Fort Cocos and beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cocos and beer is really good. It's right behind like the PetSmart right there.
Okay. What is that? Can you read what Matt says? Spicy. What is that? Like, can you get to that?
What do you say? Spicy mocha hete or whatever is it's like the mortar and pestle thing. I don't know how to say it, but I've like tried to potentially buy one because I can make guacamole in them. But flautas are like fried
tortillas with meat, like chicken in them.
Yeah, they're like fried enchiladas or something like that. I don't know exactly what they are.
They're good. I mean, and usually you get like either 2 or 4 in a serving, but it's a tortilla, and I think it's actually a corn tortilla that's fried.
That makes sense.
And then
I'm anti corn tortilla.
Oh, no.
I don't like corn tortillas.
Richard is.
That's the debate.
They
Corn
fall
versus-
apart. They fall apart too easy.
Yeah, but they taste better than the flour.
I don't know on that.
Oh,
Team
man.
flour.
No, team corn.
Put it on Twitter.
Poll question.
One of y'all put it
Right.
on Twitter.
All right.
Flour
Very
tortilla
important.
or corn tortilla. Put it on Twitter. 803-404-6100. You can just weigh in. You can just weigh in if you want
putting
on the
the poll
text. And all you got to
question
say
out
is
right now.
corn or flour. Corn or flour. We'll know
many-
exactly what you're talking about.
I'm putting
Patrick's-
the poll up. How many hours until Cinco de Mayo ends?
5 plus 12, 17. 17 and 20 minutes. We get 17 hours and 20 minutes left in the show. Les says flour. You can go to Patrick's poll question at _Patrick Perrette. Flour or corn tortilla? What is your preference there? Or you can just send us a text message, 803-404-6100. All you got to say is flour or corn. We'll know exactly what you're talking about.
And only say corn if you know it's the right answer.
So there you go. There's Jen bullying you into the corn tortilla
The
answer.
easiest, quickest, shortest poll question of all time.
There you go.
Tortillas.
So we'll get
flour or
that.
corn.
That's out on Twitter, 803-404-6100 or at _Patrick Perrette, corn or flour.
Margaritas, frozen or on the rocks.
Oh, that's another one. Maybe
On the
we'll
rocks.
do many poll questions today. Richard says tequila sunrises chased with Coronas today.
Tequila sunrise, great breakfast.
Not a
Great
bad one. That's what we could be doing as well. 803-404-6100. Flour or corn tortillas. More sports as well. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on the next halftime show.
Hey guys, it's Jay and Terry coming up on the Thursday halftime show. We'll talk Gamecock baseball, South Carolina NCA&T recap. Tommy will get us ready for the trip to College Station. We will talk with Jason Lockenfleur, a little NFL stuff a week after the draft. See what he has to say, CBS Sports. And Jeff Drummond, who covers the Kentucky Wildcats. And Terry will do a mashup of his favorite Dolly Parton and Judas Priest songs as they get inducted into the Hall
I don't
of
know
Fame.
if you knew this, but Judas Priest used to open for Dolly Parton.
I'm sure that was
I don't know
his
if you
show.
knew that.
I'm sure that was his show. Thursday at noon. See ya.
The Halftime Show with Jay, Terry, and Tommy
Noon to 3
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game. What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. It's truck month, and that means the biggest savings of the year. And none of the price hiking add-ons. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
And time to tell you about our friends at Canty Foundation Specialists. Summertime is here, and if you want to have people over, play some cornhole, drink in the yard, drink some margaritas in the yard, got to make sure the foundation is taken care of. Canty Foundation Specialist is 803-424-8380 is the number to call. They have offices in Columbia, Greenville, Augusta, Charlotte, and Charleston. They can find you wherever you are. They are the foundation specialists. So if you have some foundation problems, such as cracks in your exterior brick, cracks in your walls above your windows or door frames, doors or windows that stick, uneven or bouncy floors, or cracks over your garage doors, you need to give them a call, 803-424-8380. They will also take care of your crawl space issues. So if you've recently experienced a storm, you could have standing water under your home, which will cause high humidity and condensation in that crawl space and create an environment for mold, mildew, and pests, including termites. And that moisture in there can lead to wood rot and floor joist problems. Those musty smells from mold or mildew, they can cause health issues like runny nose, itchy eyes, or coughs. And 50% of the air you breathe in your home comes from your crawl space. So get Canty out there. CantyCanFixIt.com is the website. They also will do commercial services, concrete repair, concrete leveling, and basement waterproofing. So anything you need involving the foundation of your home, they will take care of. 803-424-8380 is the number to call, or visit them on the web at CantyCanFixIt.com.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true
Things look pretty good out on the highways this morning. No real major slowdowns to speak of. But we'll take that. We'll also take a nice forecast. Feeling almost summery. Sunny and hot today, 90 for the high, 88 tomorrow. It's 70 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Wait a minute. I gotta go back to this is where I get lost on the live stream. How did we get to RL saying he makes coffee on Saturday mornings and then searches out yard sales?
I think this is where it started.
Okay. Good start there.
Oh, you mentioned outlets. I like outlets.
Flour or corn. I agree, Larry. Taco Bell isn't real Mexican food.
Yeah, no one would debate that. It is phenomenal. I love Taco Bell, but on Cinco de Mayo, that's not the place to go. You gotta find a genuine place.
And Taco Bell, yeah, it's not real Mexican food, but I'm super excited about the Mexican pizza coming back.
Oh, was it gone?
Yeah, it
they've
was.
taken away a bunch of stuff. Actually,
Yeah, they did.
Ansley used to get the taco salad, and they did away with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think somebody, I forget, I went there. It was Lauren or Ansley wanted the Mexican pizza, and they didn't have that.
Yep,
Can't do
but
that
it's
'cause
coming back,
topped with
man.
Tomatoes.
Oh, and there was the tomato shortage during the.
No,
You
I can't
do
eat
it, you
tomatoes.
can't.
Yeah, I can't eat tomatoes.
Me neither.
Danny, I agree. If I'm having to drink Mexican beer, it's Pacifico.
So we bought over the weekend. Well, actually, 2 weeks ago when we were in Charleston, I bought the sour mimosa kind of. I don't know if you'd label it a beer. It's by I think Dominga. It's a Dominga Mimosa Sour from Woodchuck.
Oh, Woodchuck is cider.
I'm
sorry,
back in.
New Belgium. I don't know why. New Belgium Dominga Mimosa Sour Ale. They're actually pretty strong. They're not strong, but they're pretty good. (803-404-6100). How you can weigh in this morning. Cinco de Mayo, Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen, getting you ready for a full day of, I guess, tailgating, right? I mean, we did my birthday on Tuesday. Today, we'll just do Cinco de Mayo. So the first question we asked, and I do like the other one too, and I've got that ready to go here on the Buford Lending live stream. But the first question, flour or corn tortilla? What are you going with? Craig on the Buford Lending live stream said flour all day. RL right behind him, corn for the win. Then a couple of you weighing in on the text line. Newberry Chris, not just corn, be a little bit more specific. He says white corn tortillas are better than yellow. Now, Jen, you're the corn tortilla expert. You going with that? There is a difference there on that.
You know what? I think I need to do a taste test just to be sure. I don't want to speak, out of turn and incorrectly.
Okay.
I will say Chipotle's tortillas are the best.
All right.
They're absolutely incredible. I don't know what it is, what they do to them, but they are so good.
Okay.
If I could have every Mexican meal that I ever have for the rest of my life on a Chipotle tortilla,
you'd be a happy man.
I would be happy. Yes.
Okay. All right. Doesn't take much to please Patrick Perrette. Anonymous texter weighs in with corn tortillas, less going with flour. So we've got plenty of that going this morning.
This is a quote tweet from my poll. Andrew, very, very well thought out. I disagree with him, but he said, classic debate topic, all about weighing the positives and negatives. Corn wins because there are less negatives. Neither have much flavor, but corn holds the flavor much better. Falls apart easier, sure, but doubling them both increases tear resistance and flavor absorption. Ergo, corn greater than flour.
Yeah, there's a place in my hometown, little one-off Mexican place, and they double up the tortillas. So you don't necessarily want to eat all that. You just kind of need it.
If you're going corn tortillas, you better double it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We're getting to the bottom of the very important stuff. You can go to @_Patrick Perrette is where you can vote on that. Early voting with corn in the lead, 56% to 44% there as we ask you the important questions. We will get in the next hour into an even more important question that I think that Patrick brought up, and I think straight Mexican beer today, or excuse me, I'm sorry, margaritas, frozen or on the rocks? I'm an on the rocks person.
Me too.
On the rocks.
Yep.
You say you drink them too fast, and the
think
sugar
frozen
hurts
helps.
your tummy is the exact thing.
Frozen helps because it waters it down a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, and to me, it's more filling because it's more like a slush or something.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't get it as full if I can drink it on the rocks. We really, again, to properly assess this should have been breakfast.
It should have been. It should have been. We really became
failed.
unprepared once again, but we keep our streak alive of something like 1,500 straight days of not showing up prepared to do a radio show. So we do keep our streak
Consistency is
alive.
key.
Yes.
Yes.
We are very good at that. 803-404-6100 last night. South Carolina knocks off North Carolina A&T 9-4. Gamecocks got off to a quick start. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the third, scored 1 more in the fifth. They had a 7-0 lead through 5. They would give up 3 runs in the 7th, but they would go on to win 9-4 last night. Eli Jones gets the victory for the Gamecocks. And again, Patrick, we'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow because South Carolina was expected to win last night. They better have won, basically, is what we kind of agree with. North Carolina A&T is now 13-30 on the season, although that hasn't kept Carolina from losing a couple of these games. But you sweep Alabama, you get the victory at home against North Carolina A&T. You now once again have momentum, and you go on the road where it's been a house of nightmares anytime they leave Founders Park.
This is Groundhog Day. Every other week we have this discussion.
It really
they just had a great homestand. Can they win on the road this weekend? We had it last week. and they got swept by Auburn. And they're probably going to lose this series to Texas A&M. Let's be honest. They'll be lucky to win one game based off history. And yeah, it's exhausting to do this every single week. What?
I'm laughing because we're all over the map. We're going to give just you and I. We both know it was North Carolina A&T. We'll talk more about Texas A&M tomorrow. We're not going to spend a ton of time breaking down a 9-4 win. So I'm listening to you give a quick thought, but I'm laughing at DJ who weighs in on our text line. And DJ gets the program. I like it when people get our program. Jen, you'll like this. DJ says, "I hope Reggie can keep it up," referring to the NASCAR pick'em that Reggie has been winning.
Mm-hmm.
I hope Reggie can keep it up. The sore loser rants from Bill are much better than listening to the alternative. And then DJ weighs in with flour tortillas. A very solid text.
Is a very solid text, and I would totally agree. I'd rather hear like, "Oh, I lost," rather than "I'm so good, I won."
I mean, I have won through the last 4 years, Jen, and I'm only 10 points behind Reggie right now.
Like,
Reggie's got a collapse coming.
And 1 year is still under controversy.
I beg to differ on that. 803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program.
I'm physically getting goosebumps thinking about Matt and Anthony both at the same time on the text line and the live stream saying, "Why would you drink a margarita when you can just drink tequila straight?"
Oh,
tequila.
Because that ends your day quickly.
And every other time I drink tequila or margaritas just together, I throw up every other time. They just make me throw up.
You got no chance from the get-go?
If I have to take a tequila shot at a bar, it's a battle for the next 5 minutes to not throw it up.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I just step back and I just take deep breaths because I don't know what it is. And margaritas is just a problem. I love them. I love going to $1.50 margarita night. That was a thing I did all the time back home. And I would just go home and I'd feel fine. And then my stomach would start hurting in the car. I'd walk home and I just throw up.
You just realized you weren't going to make it? Okay.
That's too bad.
It just induces it. I don't feel bad. I can keep going, but it just
you
makes
have an
me
allergy to tequila or something.
It's a rough beverage to try and keep up with.
Gold tequila. Can't do gold tequila. It always hurts. But silver tequila with the tequila sunrise, I do love that in the morning. That I can do.
The tequila sunrise is a good, and summer is just around the corner.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice this weekend. It's going to be really nice. I think you'll be able to get out on the lake.
A lot of shout outs to Pacifico. Pacifico is good. I do like Pacifico.
We'll keep you going on this. We'll keep the poll question is out there. You can go to @_Patrick Perrette, where Flour has rallied here as the votes pour in and is taking a lead 52% to 48% on the tortilla battle that we have going this morning. The other one we'll get going here in just a little while is margaritas frozen or on the rocks. Although generally, if all three of us are weighing in with one answer, I feel like it's going to be dominant where people are going to go on the rocks over a frozen margarita.
Really?
I'll put it out there. We'll put it out. Or if you want to put
I
it
don't
out,
think it'll be dominant. No, you can do your counter poll.
We'll have
And again, I maybe want to enjoy it and drink it. I don't want to get that ice cream frozen headache thing, and I may want to drink them a little faster than I should. So yeah, it's better for me to not have them frozen.
Next hour, we'll get back into the Madison Bumgardner situation a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about name, image, likeness. Greg Sankey and the commissioner of the Pac-12 will meet with the United States senators in Washington, D.C. today to beg for help. It says ask, but I'm going to use the word beg for legislative help surrounding name, image, likeness policies, Patrick. It's going well.
Yeah. Was it a surprise this all came up? Good grief. I mean, come on.
I'm just laughing that we just got this text from Richard. Somehow tequila doesn't get me drunk.
Richard's tougher.
There's simply no way that's true.
No, that means
no way.
That means he doesn't like it, and after two of them, he's done.
It said Avion tequila straight. Somehow tequila doesn't get me drunk. Nothing but good times.
It's either that or Richard passes out and doesn't remember being drunk.
Or is he buying the tequila that is spelled with a K?
Yeah. We'll get more into it. It's Happy Cinco de Mayo from the early game. Hour 2 up next. Oh boy. Sponsored by Patron. That's where. Are there? Well, it's that time. You got to start. You got to start getting people ready for lunch. What was I doing? Oh yeah. You got to start getting the folks ready for lunch. Nope, I don't want to retweet the Wednesday program. Let's see here.
Actually, did not mean to text that to you as I was texting Carrie.
I'm not being funny, Jenny. Every time you walk in here and we've got.
I know, isn't that weird? I've heard the feedback.
Yeah, I don't know if you've got metal on you somewhere. You've got all your surgeries you had. You've got some metal in your arms or elbows or.
Shoulder and neck. Yeah. Take a copy of this, but he actually had that on his desk. Okay, I'm going to leave because I'm making things terrible.
You are. CN Athletics 1. I got it right. Let's go back.
I am with Newberry Chris. He said, hearing tequila makes him want to throw up. I've several times actually gotten a shake through my body just thinking about it. Thinking about 1:45, bars about to close, and someone saying, let's take a tequila shot.
Let's see. We've been on that, going to LJ's, that roller coaster ride of Jaeger shots. What would you
I like
do?
Jaeger bombs.
You could do Jaeger?
I don't like straight Jaeger. I love Jaeger bombs,
that'd be the
though.
bomb. Yeah.
I love Jaeger bombs.
A couple of my buddies, they'll do just the straight Jaeger. But
Yeah, that's giving me goosebumps right now, too. But no, Jaeger bombs are excellent.
Up, and the women along the balcony were exposing themselves. And I want to tell you, it's one of the greatest parades I've ever been in my life, guys.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
Let me finish, Bill.
107.5 The Game.
.701 on May the 5th. That's right. Also known as Cinco de Mayo. Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen, as we roll through a Thursday morning edition coming up here in about 30 minutes. Former Gamecock, but new Cardinal Newman head football coach Cory Holmes will join us, and we will talk a little offensive line, but also talked to him last night, Patrick. He is very excited to get a chance to take over at Cardinal Newman, so it should be fun to catch up with him. 8:40 this morning, Darlington Raceway president Carrie Tharp will join us. The Goodyear 400 this coming weekend. Jen and Patrick will be down there. Now, we're going to have our usual pick'em with myself, with Carrie Tharp, with Jen, with apparently Reggie Anderson, who is apparently sold his soul to be able to pick correct NASCAR picks for 1 year. I'm not real sure what he has done, but he is picking correctly. I still contend there should be some kind of serious investigation into it, which if he gets it right this weekend, I will really ramp up that request. But we've also been talking Cinco de Mayo. Flour or corn tortillas? 803-404-6100. You can just send in. What do you prefer? Flour or corn tortillas? Just you can say corn or flour. We know exactly what you're talking about. We've also gotten into the question of margaritas, frozen or on the rocks. I do feel like we are contributing right now to a lot of people who are waking up at 7 a.m. or are dropping their kids off at school and have decided that, you know what, this sounds like too much fun of a day. Let's be honest, it's Thursday. It's one thing to do Cinco de Mayo on like Monday or Tuesday where you have to battle through the rest of the week, right, Patrick? But Thursday, you pretty much can do Cinco de Mayo and just be like, I'll either survive Friday.
Yeah, you got to just tough it out.
Or you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to make it a 4-day weekend. I'm just going to basically call in sick on Friday because I overdid it on Cinco de Mayo.
No, it is good to have a couple of those days where you just fight the good fight and struggle through work on Friday just to say you did it.
Okay. All right.
That builds character. You can't just call out every time you get hungover.
It's a good point. It's a good point. You got to fight through it. I've been with Patrick. It builds character. Trust me, as a person who's done a 6 a.m. radio show for the last 6 years, I'm well aware of showing up and being a little bit tougher than usual. I've got 2 or 3 days that stand out, actually, in particular, where I've made it in here, and it's been quite the entertainment. A lot of you weighing in on several different topics. Let's start with Les. This is a good one when we start talking about the Mexican beer. Somebody said earlier, and I agreed, I forget who it was, but said that the Corona is a Mexican beer that's just been Americanized, so maybe count that one out. But Pacifico?
Yeah, Pacifico was great.
All right, I'd have to have one of those today, certainly. Anonymous texter says corn tortillas and on the rocks. There you go. John weighing in says big beers at Mexican restaurants are the absolute best. You on board with that?
I'm on board.
Just whatever with that. CJ, who drinks tequila straight? Get that man some help. And then he says flour tortillas all day long. Richard, who has weighed in on a couple different topics, has gone with is it Avion? Avion. Tequila is the tequila of choice there on that. Let's see. Let's get to a couple more. Justin says corn tortillas and margaritas on the rocks. See, I think we're getting, well, I say that. So Justin says corn tortillas and margarita on the rocks. Very next texter, anonymous texter, says corn and frozen margaritas. Corn tortillas and frozen.
Flour and frozen.
William just has the answer to end all answers. There's no debate. It's all delicious.
Good call.
I'm with all that. Ty, flour, tortillas, frozen margaritas. So we got plenty of you. Good Lord. A lot of you are very fired up about this, and I agree. Should be a fun day. Going to be a beautiful day out there. Again, we'll get into a lot of different topics. 803-404-6100. You can be a part of the program. You can always go to our YouTube page. Go to youtube.com, search 1075 The Game. Search for 1075. Click and subscribe. You can join several of them. Larry, Robin. We've had Craig in there weighing in. RL, Roger in there. Anthony going with he should be sponsored by Patron for the amount of tequila he drinks. That's concerning, but a lot of people weighing in, and you can go and be a part of that discussion. We have talked sports as well, Patrick. South Carolina last night, a 9-4 winner over North Carolina A&T. I kind of came more prepared to talk about the hockey because I watched a lot of Carolina Hurricanes, Boston Bruins last night. Again, did you get to, I mean, you mentioned the hit early on in that game up there in Raleigh.
And the goalie too.
You had the guy. It was a very, if you like, just again, and this is interesting to go back to, is the spirit of which a game takes place, the atmosphere, and that's why I really got into the Champions League match yesterday between Real Madrid and Man City, especially after talking with.
How do you like De Bruyne?
Which one was he?
He was the redhead.
Again, I'm not going to even come in here like I'm not going to be Jay or Pearson come in here and pretend that I really.
No, but that was who.
It was he?
He said it was what was the question you asked him? Your favorite player? Or
who would you go pay? Who would you go pay
to
to see right now? Okay, what number was he and who did he play
7?
for?
I think he wears 7. But he's got red hair. He looks like a 12-year-old.
Another thing that we are the king of here is talking about athletic events we really have no clue about. 803-404-6100. We'll get back into that, some NIL news, and also I do want to get back in for a segment on that Ryan Tannehill stuff, more on what it means to be a leader for your franchise, Patrick, because the Ryan Tannehill thing really is from yesterday very,
17, not
very,
7.
very interesting story. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Parker wants to weigh in on all our poll questions this morning. Happy Cinco de Mayo, Parker. What's on your mind?
Happy Cinco de Mayo. I just wanted to weigh in and let y'all know that corn tortillas are by far superior to flour. And if you're a bourbon drinker, I would suggest drinking a Mezcal Tequila Old Fashioned instead of margaritas.
Say that again. A what now?
A Mezcal Tequila Old Fashioned. It's a smoky tequila, and it's awesome.
Okay. I've got a smoker. I've got a bourbon smoker at the house. So smoked tequila drink. You got the recipe for us on that real quick? Just tequila, or what are we mixing in there?
So it's a Mezcal tequila with a little bit of bitters and a sugar cube and a maraschino cherry and some orange.
Okay.
Love it.
Going to have to look that one up. Appreciate that. It's a very good phone call.
Parker's a friend.
Parker's a friend. Parker's always welcome.
Have a belated birthday, Parker.
Oh, Parker.
I was at his birthday party last week and his wedding last month. Yeah, good guy. Auburn fan.
Oh, okay.
Auburn fan.
All right. Get that recipe from him.
I will.
Quick. Thank you for the phone call, Parker. 803-404-6100. How you can be a part of the program this morning if you want to join in. Again, the other thing we were just talking about, Madison Bumgarner, kind of an interesting situation last night. The pitches 1 inning and is ejected by first base umpire Dan Bellino after checking his glove. But Patrick, as you said, you've watched the video multiple times. It was more of a stare down and I'm bigger, better, badder than you kind of confrontation.
I feel like this only happens in baseball and sometimes basketball, but it was blatant. I don't know if the MLB suspends guys for things like this, but that's pretty obvious. I don't know how you can possibly get away with it. Like, do you think there will be action taken?
The only reason I don't think there would be is because Madison Bumgarner, as you mentioned, then proceeded to lose his mind and 3 Diamondbacks had to hold him. It became.
Yeah, but that was after he was already ejected.
Well, and I understand, but I think if Bumgarner, because I don't know. I don't know what Major League Baseball. We'll see if there's something that comes out about it today, and what they do. If you haven't seen it, you go. It's all over Twitter. It's all over social media, and you can go see the instance last night where again Madison Bumgarner, they're pitching. He's down in Miami, or I think they're in Miami, and they were playing the Marlins. But he has his first inning against the Marlins, gave up a leadoff home run, and then got the next 3 batters out. And then the first base umpire, Bellino, comes over and starts checking him for foreign substances, belt, hat, so forth, so on. But he isn't looking for anything. He's just staring Bumgarner straight in the eyes.
And the checks are quick. Normally, they just kind of press on your hands real quick, and you don't even really have to stop walking. You can just keep moving. And yeah, it was extended. I don't know. I don't know how that can be allowed.
Bellino told pool reporters afterwards that Bumgarner was ejected for directing profanity at an umpire. It seems thin-skinned. Have
you ever seen how hockey players talk to the refs?
I've seen football players where they if you've ever seen it where they don't cut the ref's mic off.
Yeah.
And they disagree. They tell them that a defensive lineman will tell them there was a holding call, and they usually don't say, "Hey, good sir."
Yeah.
That man over there grabbed me illegally. There's usually some other words that go with it.
What's the worst officiated sport? Is it baseball?
I think more people complain about
basketball.
803-404-6100. We'll ask that. That's a good question. What is the worst officiated sport? 803-404-6100. We will also get back into a lot of your weighing in with the tequila takes. Cabo Wabo tequila on the rocks with salt and lime. La Tortilla Factory corn tortillas from anonymous texter. Woo, sounds pretty good. Another anonymous texter, corn tortillas on the rocks and Don Julio 1942 tequila. Either of you got a preferential tequila you go to?
No, I can't afford to drink fancy tequila.
There you go. There's Patrick Perrette.
Montezuma's.
Corn tortillas for carnitas, flour tortillas for everything else, and you must get a giant Dos Equis. Welcome to the early game. It's Bill Gunner. It's Patrick Perez, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on the next Extra Point.
Hey guys, Peterson Fowler here from the Extra Point. Coming up on the Thursday Extra Point, lots of Carolina baseball, the North Carolina A&T midweek game. How'd Carolina do? And as we look ahead to South Carolina and Texas A&M, what is fair to expect in a high-pressure series for the Gamecocks? Some NBA playoff thoughts and a few more thoughts on South Carolina Gamecocks. Looking ahead to the 2023 draft. I get it. Way too early, but as long as we say it's way too early,
Is all Don Julio 1942? I know my my girlfriend has some Don Julio in her freezer.
We go for whatever the best looking bottle is. Like we might be getting bad. I mean, occasionally we'll buy a brand that we know.
What's the new? Is it a tequila, right? This is gonna be bad for the gonna be bad for the search results on my but there's this new it's not exactly giving me what I want. I shouldn't have typed that in. There's a new hang on. Let me find out what it is before I start talking about it and sound weird. It's like always ordered.
Anthony is bringing it strong with the tequila knowledge. 1942 is the $200 bottle that comes in a box. Good grief.
Parker did just send me the recipe for mezcal old fashioned.
You'll forward that to me.
Okay. Azul Reposado.
See if I can forward this.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what this was. Because this is now like a fancy, commonly ordered tequila, and all I knew was the shape of it. Can you see this? Actually, no. I'll just type it in. I'll type it in.
Ron White has a tequila. Oh boy.
So yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever had this. I'm gonna share the screen, and you can just imagine what I was Googling to try and figure out what tequila I was thinking of. Just use your imagination.
Wait, I hadn't gotten to this. I was reading the text that. What do we got? I mean, it looks like a.
Yeah.
Boss.
Well, that's not what I was typing in. So, if they're gonna audit my search history, it's gonna look a little bit weird here at 7:10.
Should we put out a poll question that says who would you most want to hang out with on Cinco de Mayo? Jay Phillips, Terry Ford, or Heath Klein?
You can put everybody. You can put Jay, Terry, Pearson, and Heath. I think Tommy would win by a landslide if you put Tommy in it. Who would win that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Montezuma. Oh, 1942 is the 200 one. Okay. I would never want to drink it. That's when you just show off. But yeah, Montezuma is the bottom shelf tequila. Tequila in a plastic bottle, usually not going to be good. Whoever texted Cabo Wabo, you know who Tequila Cabo Wabo is? Bill?
What?
Do you know who Tequila Cabo Wabo is?
No, I don't. I don't.
Sammy Hagar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Van Halen had a song called Cabo Wabo.
Anthony is just I mean, I drink bourbon, but Anthony is just a tequila connoisseur, clearly. I learned my lesson. Was that last summer that I drank tequila on a Sunday with water, tequila and water? And we learned that the number of tequila and waters I could have before I stopped remembering anything was 4.
I don't understand the water.
It's supposed to be the tequila and water was supposed to be a fat burner. Like, I guess it was kind of like I don't know. Sometimes I pretty much fall for whatever people say. Like, yeah, if you drink tequila, it'll make you grow 3 inches. Oh, all right, give me 7 of them. Well, at least today's thing is Connor Shaw. $7:20 on a Thursday morning, May the 5th. Many poll questions we're developing out there. If you want to weigh in, you can do so a couple different ways. You can go to Patrick's Twitter account @_Patrick Perrette, where you can answer his poll question: flour or corn tortillas. Big debate here. Patrick and Jen appear to be separated on the issue. Jen went corn tortillas. Patrick went flour tortillas.
Flour is beginning to take a substantial lead.
Oh, is it?
73% right now.
Oh, boy. Jen's in the wrong?
No.
Is anybody else shocked about that?
Oh, aren't you cute?
Yeah, here we go. So that's one question we got this morning.
And like Matt's comment was corn tastes better, but it's not conducive to eating things in them. So flour wins just for the sake of utility.
No, I mean, look,
okay, but I'm not going to sacrifice flavor for
the actual
utility.
ability to eat something.
Yeah,
in it.
there you have things called a fork.
But
nah, if you're eating a taco,
if you're using a tortilla,
yeah, you can't use I'm with Patrick on this. No, the whole point of eating a taco or a tortilla is to not use the fork, Jen. It's not a steak. It's not a steak.
Tortilla you can consume holding it, but it's okay for the corn tortilla. Yeah, double up the tortilla.
Very anti-hard shell tortillas.
Oh, what?
Oh
gosh.
I'm with him on this. I broke away.
Soft shells are.
I broke away from him I broke away from the hard shell tortillas early in life and went straight to the soft.
Yeah.
Soft. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time I've had a hard shell taco.
Like literally, I will do if I want a quesadilla, it's strictly a mechanism to get the innards. So I will open it up and eat it and discard the tortilla.
What?
Yeah, I don't want the flour tortilla. No.
Wait,
it's too filling. It doesn't taste like anything.
Cook the meat and cheese then.
Yeah.
Well, I
Just
could do that too. And that's the reason, like, if I get fajitas, I just make sure that I don't have I just tell them don't bring tortillas because I'll just eat it off the plate.
Okay, so there's that. So
I know.
we got that question. You go to my Twitter account at Will Gunter is where you can weigh in. Margaritas, what is your choice? And we've got Own the Rocks and Frozen. Several of you are weighing in. I'll tell you also, some of you are weighing in. Justin says this talk is making me want to switch to soft shell tacos. So good. We're turning one person out there. If we turn one person, we've succeeded in our job this morning.
The hard shell, what's the point of the top of it? Like when you bite into a hard shell taco, there's that whole top section that all the meat either falls out and you just got a big top section of, you know what I mean? It doesn't, the soft shell, you can make it like relatively flat so that it's easy to eat, but you're going to lose that top portion of the hard shell taco.
I think you got to turn it sideways a little bit. Like, I mean, it's got to be a little bit of a turn. I mean, you're just going for the crunch.
The bottom of it gets a little bit soggy, and then the top is still just perfectly. It's just not good.
I like where we're going here with this. Again, anonymous texter weighs in: flour, steak tortillas, margaritas on the rocks with a side of Pacifico. So a lot of you weighing in this morning as we talk about this. The other question that we just threw out, and I'm kind of interested to hear this: what is the worst officiated sport? This on the heels of what happened to Madison Bumgarner last night. Anonymous texter probably does have the ace of spades here. The worst officiated sport: wrestling. The ref is always falling down, and they get distracted too easy. I agree with that. A very good answer there. John from Merle's Inlet weighs in and says, if you follow Welcome to the Ump Show on Twitter, you'll see how bad the MLB is. John also says Margarita on the Rocks. Jen, I think the Margarita on the Rocks is making a comeback. I think you were no, you weren't. You were not in On the Rocks. We were all with On the Rocks.
We were all not Frozen.
Right. All right. So thank you, John from Merle's Inlet. Said again, Major League Baseball, Margarita on the Rocks and flour tortillas. William weighing in. South Carolina, SEC football, worst officiated sport of all time. Says see the South Carolina Florida in 2019 game for examples. Patrick, where are you going to go with this?
The worst officiated sport.
Worst officiated. I do like our anonymous texter who said wrestling. That one was really good. But if we got to pick one of the major sports,
the best is definitely hockey, and then I think football is number 2. And I think the worst.
Now, wait, when you say football is number 2, you're saying the best.
Professional football.
Okay. All right. You think professional football is the best?
Yeah. College football is not. The officiating in the NFL is 1,000 times better than college football. And that's not to say that there's not mistakes all the time. Of course there are. And like there's been games like the Saints have been screwed more than anyone in NFL history by the officials. So that is the case. But I think I would say probably the NBA is probably the worst, but baseball, like they make more mistakes in baseball, but it's also built in. Like when there's 200 something pitches every game, you're going to not get every ball in strike rate. So you have to build that into the equation when you're evaluating an umpire.
803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program this morning. Coming up next, Cory Holmes, former South Carolina offensive lineman and new Cardinal Newman head football coach. We'll catch up with him and talk to him not only about what his new job will be like as he steps into the head man role, but also he was at the spring game. Patrick will get his take on what he saw from South Carolina's offensive line. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Patrick Pratt, and Jen Jensen, Cinco de Mayo version of the early game. We really should have brought tacos. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
It's Throwback Weekend at Darlington. Your chance to snag tickets for the Goodyear 400 this Sunday is coming up on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
And traffic conditions out on the highway, not too bad. We do have an accident to let you know about. Shop Road at Pineview Drive. Also a report of a tie-up, 2-Notch Road near Park Lane Road. Your forecast, looking pretty nice. It's just going to be hot today. 94 the high, 88 tomorrow. Cooling down a little bit for the weekend, 79 on Saturday, 76 for Mother's Day. But right now, it's 70 at 107.5 The Game.
Healthcare is personal. When you're sick or hurt, you want to see doctors you know and trust. And a bill in our state legislature could make that even easier. Right now, arbitrary certificate of need laws limit the number of healthcare providers in the state. They also limit how many beds and how much equipment healthcare facilities can buy. To expand services or capacity, providers must get approval from a bureaucratic oversight board, and incumbent providers get a say in the decision. The process can take months, even.
Max Scherzer against the Pirates. The last, I can't remember the guy's name. He leaned into a pitch in the 9th inning and they didn't call it. So yeah. You ever seen an umpire blow a perfect game for a pitcher? Oh yeah. Yep. It's devastating. Larry, my sister played college field hockey. I've watched a million field hockey games. I have no idea what the rules are. High school lacrosse officiating is horrendous. I would agree with that. It might be the worst officiated high school sport because it's mostly officiated by people that have never played the game. But college lacrosse is usually officiated pretty well.
That's true. The double wrap part. That's the key because.
Yeah, that's why I generally go burrito over taco because I'll just fold it over and there won't be that extra part. But I'm going to break off part of the tortilla and there's going to be little pieces of tortilla on my plate when I'm done.
I think that's how my kids eat tortillas. See, I've kind of taught them, or they eat soft tacos. My kids eat soft taco. Yeah, I think what you were saying, I agree with. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess. Here, that's it, right there, the very top one, the 678 number. I like to test your eyesight. Yeah, let me make sure that is the one, but.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, 913, because I called him at 913. I like this, Sonny. That is flour and frozen. Welcome. Good morning, Hope. See, so my story with corn tortillas, it's definitely a couple years ago because corn tortillas are supposed to be healthier than flour tortillas.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And so when I was going through my serious health kick, I switched to corn tortillas for my little egg, like burritos or egg tacos I'd make in the morning for the protein and everything. And just trying to, like you said, keep it together. And like all I would was do a little bit of, make 2 or 3 eggs, put it in a corn tortilla, wrap aluminum foil around it, try to eat it on the way. And it was completely breaking apart as I was driving down the road.
Oh, dude, a churro would be so good too. I love churros.
$7:31 on a Thursday morning. Coming up in just a minute, we'll catch up with Cory Holmes, new head football coach over at Cardinal Newman here in Columbia. Does a bunch of fantastic work. I think has been at Gray Collegiate the last few years, and now will take over at Cardinal Newman. And excited to see another former Gamecock. And it's interesting, Patrick. We were talking this week, I think, briefly about getting older. And now I'm starting to see more South Carolina Gamecocks that I guess I grew up watching get back into coaching. And Cory's not that old. He's probably he's probably 10 years younger than me. I'm 40 now. I'm guessing Cory's 30, 31. He's a lot. I mean, I remember when South Carolina recruited him. So now I'm starting.
I don't think he's 30 yet.
He might not be 30. I don't know. So he's the perfect guy. Let's get out to the Love
I know
Chevy
who to ask.
phone lines. Let's ask him. He's the perfect guy to answer some of the questions. Cory, we'll talk football with you this morning, but It's Cinco de Mayo. We got to ask you the important questions this morning. Flour or corn tortilla and margaritas, frozen or on the rocks?
Well, those are the two easiest questions all day, I'm sure. Flour tortillas.
Yep. Okay.
Easy. And then on the rocks, no doubt.
There you go.
He's half right.
Frozen takes too long to drink.
Oh, it's a good point. That's another. Yeah, the frozen, the frozen, it does not seem to be a much of a discussion point, but the tortillas, and Jen was very offended. She has been very team corn tortillas this morning, but certainly quite debatable here on a very fun day. Yesterday for you, an exciting day. You become the head football coach at Cardinal Newman. Congratulations. Talk about what it's like now to step into the big chair and be the head cheese of a football program here in the Midlands.
Well, not too much has been going on right now. I'm trying to rally the troops and get everything organized and stuff, so we can start spring practice in a week and a half. So it's going fast, trying to get guys on the coaching staff, trying to make sure players are on board, and some organizational stuff. But other than that, it hasn't got too much into the actual coaching yet. So that's coming here pretty shortly.
So what are the first things on the checklist? I think you have named an offensive coordinator, right? I think a friend of the program is going to be joining you.
Yep, Perry Orth will be the offensive coordinator, so that's going to be exciting. I've named defensive coordinator Marcus McGill, so I got my two coordinators. I got several position coaches, and I got several position coaches lined up. So that's a positive. I was worried about that this late in the game. Most teams are in spring practice already. So getting those guys on board was huge.
He's Cory Helms. You can follow him on Twitter at Cory Helms. 7251 is the numbers that he has behind his name. New head football coach at Cardinal Newman. So you bring over Perry Orth, the protege, so to speak, of the head ball coach. Is that the offense we're going for? Are you expecting him to be dialing up plays on the sideline and slinging it around down the field?
He will absolutely be dialing it up on the sideline. There's no doubt about it. We met the other day, and he was geeked up, just going over everything that's going to happen and talking about our day 1, day 2, day 3 installs, and what he wants to do with the quarterbacks and all that stuff. He is HBC 2.0 for sure.
What is your coaching style? You the CEO type, or what's going to be the deal?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I've never, this would be the first time being a head coach. I know, a lot of people say that I'm a player's coach, but I mean, if it gets to CEO, that's great. I'm very hands-on though, so I like being a part of everything. Obviously, I'll have a lot to do with the run game on offense and the offensive line. Defense, I'm hoping. Well, not hoping, I am just turning the keys over to Coach McGill and letting him do his thing. So I guess I'll be the CEO on defense, but offensive-wise, I'll have my hands on things.
Yeah, you got to keep an eye. You got to keep an eye on Perry. If you blink, if you turn around to have a conversation with somebody, Perry will be going for it on 4th and 13 from your own 15. Might want to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, well, if I don't keep track of it, we're going to run the ball, 10 times and throw the ball 50. So
it'll be fun. We look forward to seeing Perry join you. Certainly, yeah, he's a friend of the program, and look forward to seeing that. Let's talk a little college football with you real quick. You can weigh in on this better than most. You transferred to South Carolina from Wake Forest, Cory. So now you see this transfer portal, and you see how it's being utilized by prospects, not just for name, image, likeness, but you see how prospects are utilizing the one-time free transfer rule. What do you remember of your transfer, and how do you relate what you did now to what you see these kids doing today?
Well, when I transferred, it was different because you had to make a legitimate, not that they're not making a big decision, but you had to make a legitimate business decision because you knew you were going to have to sit out a year, and you knew there was about 30 schools that you were not allowed to transfer to. You weren't allowed to transfer in conference. You couldn't transfer to anybody on the schedule within the next 2 years. So you had to make a legit decision. These guys, they can just kind of get up and go. So that's the biggest difference. And I think it's honestly kind of turning into a mess a little bit. There's a lot of guys without a home, and if you're transferring from an SEC program, you're going to find a home. Now it might not be the home that you want, but what's happening is the guys from the smaller programs, they're kind of getting left out.
He's Cory Holmes joining us this morning. You were at the South Carolina spring game. Obviously, last year was difficult, and you were coaching. You were offensive line coach at Gray Collegiate. You were also the strength coach there. So you were in town. You were having to do your duties there, but you were able to keep up with the South Carolina program last year. So let's go back to what you saw in the fall. Greg Atkins, the new offensive line coach. What did you see from that offensive line as they tried to adjust to a new system, to a new coaching staff, new offensive line coach? And I tell you what, let me ask this because I think this is interesting. Eric Wolford was here for I think 3 or 4 years under Will Muschamp. For you, Cory, for offensive linemen, switching offensive line coaches and hearing different techniques, I guess different language, even a different system. What is that like for the offensive line?
Well, honestly, that's exactly what it is. That's hard. I've had, I guess, 5 different O-line coaches in 5 years when I was playing, and each year it's a little bit different. Now there's time to get all the kinks worked out, but it's a little bit different, and it does take time to adjust to. In terms of last year's offensive line, I thought they had a lot of talented guys. I think they battled some injuries and they had to shift the line around a lot, which is never easy. Ideally, you like to stick with 5 and keep the 5 right where they're at, especially on that level. But I did think they got better throughout the year. I think is everybody coming back or most everybody coming back? Yeah. I think they're going to be better. That's for sure. I know Eric and Javon pretty well, and those guys are great leaders and great football players. So I do know they'll rally the troops and get everybody going.
So you never got to run this. You never had the same offensive line coach 2 years in a row.
No.
So did you feel like, were there years where, did you feel like you were just picking it up at the end of the year and then the next season there's a new O-line coach and you were just like bummed, like now we got to start from scratch again?
No, not really. Offensive line is still offensive line. It's just different terminology, and sometimes you're going to run. You might have your coach might want a different step here and there, but it was never like a bummed kind of deal. It was just some adjusting, I guess you could say.
How big, when we talk about South Carolina having to go through 3 different quarterbacks last year, 4 if you count De'Carrion Joyner starting in the bowl game, for the offensive line to have the same signal call, the same guy back there, do we overrate that, or is that more important than we maybe realize having not played the game?
I think it's important to an offense, but I don't think it has too much to do with the offensive line, unless the quarterback is the one that's setting protections and stuff like that. But I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that was the case. But I think it's more to do with the offense and a little less to do with the offensive line.
Again, he is Cory Helms, new head football coach over at Cardinal Newman. He has hired a good buddy of ours and a good buddy of his, Perry Orth. Perry was in your wedding, correct? Is that was he a good?
Yep.
He wasn't the best man, was he?
No, but my best man was the guy I grew up with. So, but he was close. He's definitely one of my best friends. So this is going to be really fun getting to coach with him and go to battle with him.
And now, are you going to allow him to do any of it? Because he will come in. I don't know if he's done any on air for us, Patrick, but his Spurrier impersonations.
Oh yeah.
Or sorry, will you encourage him to get out there with some offshoots or any of that led him to being a solid quarterback there at South Carolina?
He can do whatever he wants. He can get a visor out there and sling it. He can say what he wants, do what he wants.
We're not too far off from these kids in high school not even knowing who Spurrier is anymore, though.
Is that? Do you think that, Cory?
No, you're completely correct. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, they're born well into the 2000s at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I had to take forms for a strength meet this past year, and I was looking at their birth dates, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, what is it, like 2005 now? It's wild. It's wild to see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, there was some like 2006. I want to say, what would the freshman be like? 2008. I think I saw some 2008.
Yeah, it's close. My daughter is
Yeah.
2009 and she's in 6th grade. So you're probably going back a little bit before
2006
that,
or 7.
15 years
Yeah.
ago, about 07-ish
Maybe 2006.
is where we're talking. Well, good luck to you. We look forward to catching up with you a little bit more as you go through and your first year at Cardinal Newman. You certainly have done a great job over at Gray Collegiate, winning a state championship this past year, building a line that certainly helped KZ Adams have an incredible year. And I know you look forward to following him at Georgia State, but we look forward to following you over at Cardinal Newman and appreciate you taking time to join us this morning.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and I really appreciate it.
No problem. Take care. Cory Helms, former South Carolina Gamecock, but new head football coach at Cardinal Newman. We'll certainly stay in touch with him over the next several months and look forward to watching him as he takes over a Cardinal Newman program looking for a fresh start. We'll come back. We'll get back into some Cinco de Mayo discussion and get back into worst officiated sport. And that's what's kind of interesting. A couple of you in there weighing in, anonymous texter saying NBA is the worst officiated. However, in baseball, the umpires are having the biggest power trips, and it's all around bad for the game. Donnie and Camden, just NASCAR is the worst officiated sport. They make things up as they go, just make changes to the race during the race. It's absolutely insane. We'll continue on. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Dude, that's the hardest hit I've seen in a while. I don't. I'm seeing the Canes Twitter page. Svechnikov was the guy that hit him. He did a press conference after the game, and the quote of the tweet is just, "It was a pretty hard hit." Yeah, it was a pretty hard hit, dude. Oh, poor guy. I wonder if this will show up on the live stream. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I have the tweet. Let's see if it'll work. If you didn't see the hit, I'm going to try and share it here.
Stick as the shoulder goes through the body.
His stick broke.
His shoulder is low enough into the body, and down goes Lindholm.
Really doesn't do it justice.
A perfectly
Live
timed,
speed.
perfectly thrown, clean body stick as the shoulder goes through the body.
Oh, here, I'll also share. Well, we're in a break still. This is my spot. See that taco on the left? That's the burrito style one, because it's been grilled with the consomme. That's the consomme.
Oh, okay.
You can dip it in there. So good. You ever had a torta? Tortas are delicious. Look at this. Churros, plantains. Look at those things. Incredible. Incredible.
Maybe I should eat Mexican more.
Here's the other one. That's a torta right there. Mexican sandwich. The bread is so good. They got little hot dogs in them. This place is adorable, Pueblo Bonita. I would highly suggest it.
I know exactly. I know what you're talking about. That's it. $7:49 on a Thursday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We have talked certainly a lot about that. Flour or corn tortillas, margaritas, frozen or on the rocks. We've gotten into all of that. A lot of you have weighed in with your favorite tequila as well. And I'm not a huge tequila drinker, Patrick. So
not a huge liquor drinker anymore.
Anthony on our Buford Lending live stream has really educated us with that this morning. So a lot of discussion there. You can go to our Twitter accounts at _Patrick Perrette, where you can vote on his poll question: flour or corn tortillas. Certainly the big discussion there. And I'm trying to pull up real quick, or you can go to mine. I've got mine right here. The margaritas. What is your choice? On the rocks or frozen? 77% saying on the rocks, 23% saying frozen margaritas. Patrick's poll question, again, at _Patrick Perrette, where you can go and you can follow him. Tortillas, flour or corn? Flour has now run away with this thing. 71% saying flour tortillas, 29% saying corn tortillas, which leaves Jen Jensen feeling sad for her wrong choice once again.
No, it's the right choice. It's just sometimes you have to power through as the correct one, even if you're in the minority.
There you go. Okay. 803-404-6100. We will catch up with Cory Tharp in a little less than an hour. The Goodyear 400 this weekend. That is actually where we kind of started some of the discussion early on, because Patrick and Jen will be down there. Patrick will be down there on Saturday. Both of you will be in the infield. So you want to talk about like perks of the job? I didn't know we were going to that. I surprisingly didn't get the memo, or I missed our team meeting where we all said we were going to Darlington for Mother's Day, because Jen just magically opened the show this morning with I'll be down there. I'm going to be down there. I'm going to be down there in the infield. Patrick,
Yeah,
where are you going to be at?
I told the kids, I'm like, well, you all can do something together, because like mom and dad are going to the races on Saturday, or Sunday, sorry.
So, yeah, there you go. So, Jen and Patrick will be down there. You can look for them in the infield. Patrick will have jambalaya ready for you if you swing by. So, we've got all that to get into next hour. Again, we will catch up with Cory Tharp. Big thanks to Corey Holmes for joining us there in the previous segment. He named yesterday the new head football coach at Cardinal Newman high school. So congratulations to him. A lot of good information. Jen will get that up on the podcast page coming up shortly. Again, last night, South Carolina knocks off North Carolina A&T. The Gamecocks moved to 23-20. North Carolina A&T now 13-30 on the season. 9-4 was the final. Eli Jones for South Carolina gets his first win of the season. South Carolina heading out to Texas A&M. First game tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern time start. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. You can also check it out on the SEC Network Plus. Apparently, I'm doing my job very, very well because one of the big rules of radio is to say the time and date whenever you come back.
That too.
And
Dude, you are the saltiest person on the planet.
Angry Steve from Blythewood is like, you don't need to know the time and date. Actually, part of radio is to say it each and every time so that people know the time and date. Not so much for their own personal gain, but if they have to fill out the book, they know exactly what time they started listening and what time they stopped listening. I'm actually doing a very good. This lets me know I'm doing a very good job this morning.
Well, and there sometimes with radio listenership, there are certain benchmarks. Like I know, okay, when they go into whatever, like if Carrie Tharp's coming up this week, I know I better be at the office at that point, or I need to be at this point on the highway, or things like that. So it's just old school radio that you just are supposed to kind of do the time and temp.
Well, this guy literally does not understand what our job is.
That's
whatsoever.
actually though the biggest compliment I've gotten all morning is that I'm doing the job correctly. I'm doing what my bosses have trained me to do.
His every text is like, "Quit talking about stuff you have zero clue about." These are the dumbest conversations. We have absolutely no clue what will become of these guys. Let them play first. Like, dude, we got to talk about sports for 3 hours. Do you want us to just say, I don't know what South Carolina's record's going to be this year?
We let Gamecock Larry talk. Gamecock Larry knows the record.
What do you...
Let me ask you this.
Cheer up, Steve. It'll be okay.
Let's go back to what we talked about yesterday. Ryan Tannehill. If a college... Because now you see this, and I think one of the changes you're going to see in recruiting, especially if this new 2-year waiver passes where you can sign more than 25, you're going to see schools now with the transfer portal, I think, take 2 quarterbacks in every class, Patrick. Like you kind of have to, because we talked about it yesterday. There's only one guy who can play quarterback as opposed to 5 on the offensive line, 3, 4, 5 at wide receiver, obviously multiple running backs, whatever it may be. But the bottom line on that is, like, you've kind of got to take 2. So if you heard a college quarterback say, hey, my job is not to mentor or tutor or make the quarterback room a great place to be at the college level, we would view that as one of the worst attitudes in college sports, right? If you had a guy say that. The NFL guy says it, I think some of us be like, yeah, that makes sense. You're being paid a lot of money. You don't want the guy behind you to come in and beat you out.
Yeah, it is. I do wonder how the parallels are for college and pro. Like, I heard some people making an argument yesterday about Ryan Tannehill being a mentor, saying, dude, you're making $25 million. That's enough for you to suck up your pride and be a mentor. It's like, that's actually kind of a fair point. But to the college point, yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to be harmonious in a lot of different locker rooms when there's a battle. And when like, I think South Carolina's lucky that Luke Doty has been as welcoming as he has appeared to be to Spencer Rattler. But I just don't think that's the case everywhere. Like, Alabama, super competitive locker room. I wonder what DJ Hughes and Cade Klubnik's relationship is like right now. And there were rumors. I think Lane Kiffin said that if Tua didn't get put in the national championship game, then he was going to transfer. Like that. That's not going to be the case everywhere.
Well, the elite programs, basically you're telling guys, if you're at Alabama, if you're at Ohio State, Georgia, I guess, falls into that because Georgia's right now got Brock Vandagriff and Gunnar Stockton sitting behind Stetson Bennett. And, whether Brock Vandagriff, both Gunnar Stockton, almost a 5-star prospect, Brock Vandagriff, a 5-star prospect, and then you got Stetson Bennett, who was basically an unknown, and he's coming back for another year. But you can sell those guys. You tell those guys, hey, you wait your turn, you get a chance to quarterback a national championship caliber team. It's a lot easier as opposed to about 95 other schools right now who are not national championship caliber teams.
Go get incredible coaching for a year or two, and then if you don't get the starting job at the contender, then you just drop down a level. Not even a level. You stay at the same division in Power 5, but you can just go to a different school. It does kind of, I don't know. I would pay less attention to the high school recruiting at this point if I was a college coach. I would just go get the guy that lost the job at Georgia.
Very interesting. Very interesting. 803-404-6100.
Almost 7:57, so we got to take a break.
We got to take one. Carrie Tharp coming up in the next hour. We'll continue our Cinco de Mayo discussion and get into some more sports. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus Media.
I had actually thought about that earlier about saying it every time, and I was like, I wonder if anybody's even noticing. I was like, I wonder if anybody's even paying attention, because you're supposed to do that. Like, if you ever hear like
I just next thing I want him to text is, you don't need to say it's 107.5 The Game. I turned the station on. I obviously know what station I'm listening to.
I literally was thinking that earlier. I was like, why do I do this every time? Do I need to say the time and the date? But apparently it works. Apparently they're right. All right. Got a promo, Jim? No promo?
Oh, cut a promo. I thought you meant like the keyword cash thing.
No, thank God we don't do that. Final hour of the early game, the Thursday morning, the Cinco de Mayo edition. I was listening to that promo referring to me as a jerk, and I started looking at the NASCAR Cup Series weekly picks, and I trailed Reggie by 10 points. Jen, I wouldn't say angry. I have a generally mild-mannered opinion of the program. We do 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's really probably not healthy to come in here within the first 9 hours of a morning and be angry or upset. That probably is bad for what is it, cholesterol and for all that. Probably not good. Probably not good for your overall health if you're showing up at 6 a.m. and you're just in a bad mood
Yeah,
already.
not so good.
So, but this really does bother me that Reggie is winning by not just winning, but winning by 10 points. And I don't have the other sheet in front of me, but also that Reggie, I think I've got it in
I
my,
did look it up. This is the 4th time he's won this season, which is pretty spectacular.
but not only is it the 4th time he's won,
Mhm.
it's like he's won something like he's picked the right winner. Let's see if I've got it here. I don't think I do. But go back and look. He's picked the winner like 5 of the last 7 times. Like Reggie's on a run that really
He's on a heater.
is unprecedented. I think I threw all the sheets away.
I probably threw him away.
If you want the end to stop, what you need to start doing is just throwing cash on whoever he picks to win the race.
That's a good point.
You're either going to make money.
That is a good point. I'll feel better about
Or you're
myself.
gonna
That might
jinx him.
actually be
Yeah.
the strategy this week.
Yeah.
That might be the way to do that.
You may not win the bragging rights, but you would definitely win.
Well,
In
I'd
your
be happy.
pocket.
I would be happy. I'd be more willing to accept it. We'll catch up with Cory Tharp coming up here in
I've
about.
never bet NASCAR. Can you do like
It's the
top
same as-
5s and top 10s, or can you
I did
like
see some
win,
exactas.
place, and show?
I did see some exactas. Yeah, I've seen
that's
that where
kinda
you
cool.
can sometimes I'll look at some of those betting odds and they'll have that. Speaking of the exactas and the everything that goes on the Kentucky Derby this coming week or this coming weekend, I will get excited. That is an event that because I don't watch the all day race
What
stuff.
time is it,
Patrick.
like 6?
I think it's 5 something is when the actual race will take place. I don't ever notice. I know it's later in the afternoon, and I only say that because it's an all day event. For those wondering, there's not just one race, but the main race will take place on NBC, and I think it's around 5:36 or something like 6:02, something weird like that. And I will be entertained by the Kentucky Derby this week. That is something that I actually try to go out of my way to stop what I'm doing 30 minutes prior, sit down and watch the actual running of the race. But with no Bob Baffert this weekend, I'm very confused on who to take. Epicenter is the favorite or was the favorite as of yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if the odds
Well, Bob
adjust
Baffert's
overnight.
horses are there.
That's true. Bob
Baffert will not be there.
Okay.
I think. Pretty sure.
No, Bob Baffert will not be. He's
Yeah,
been
no, but I think his horses are still there. Like,
okay.
They didn't shut down his entire operation.
Yeah. So the Kentucky Derby this weekend. So it's actually going to be a pretty fun sports weekend. The Goodyear 400 here in Darlington, the Kentucky Derby taking place. You'll also have Gamecock baseball. Again, South Carolina wins last night 9-4 over North Carolina A&T. They will now head off to College Station today to take on Texas A&M starting tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern time. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. You can check it out on the SEC Network. Plus, it's streaming, so you'll have to have a smart TV to do that. We've talked a lot this morning about some different things. Obviously, Cinco de Mayo. We've offered poll questions, flour or corn tortillas. Our guest so far, Cory Holmes, very easy for him. He said that was the easiest questions he was going to get all day. Flour tortillas, and then the other one was margaritas on the rocks or frozen. He said on the rocks.
But his answer for why frozen is why he prefers on the rocks is the exact reason I like frozen.
Is that
they
so?
take longer to drink. They're
Okay.
more watered down. The sugar, it's less sugar. It's at least watered down sugar. So it takes longer for the sugar stomach pains to start hurting.
Okay. So there you go. So maybe
That's why I'm like pretty much not a liquor drinker anymore. Like I was in college all the time because it was cheaper, and I would never buy a $3 beer at the bar when you can buy a $1 liquor drink because 5 Points was just cheaper that way. It was just more cost effective to drink liquor. But now everything's sugary. I don't like drinking straight bourbon or anything like that. I just can't do it. I don't have the palate for it. So I've just become a beer guy. That's all I am now.
Patrick is 26.
Yeah.
26. And I'm debating whether he's 66 or 26. There are times that you go very young
No,
on
because
us.
I think as I get older, I think I'll develop the taste for drinking like bourbon straight, but I can't do it.
You do strike me as a guy that within the next 10 to 15 years will have a Barca lounger, some kind of recliner.
I can only hope.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I see this going. Big thank you to Scott on the text line. I was an hour off. 6:57 is approximate post time.
Maryland's playing the Big Ten semifinals at 5:30 against Johns Hopkins, and the Capitals are playing at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So or 7:30. So right there in the sweet spot. I guess I will watch the Kentucky Derby.
803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program this morning. We've cut up a lot about that kind of stuff and had a good time here. We have talked some sports, the Madison Bumgarner situation last night. He gets ejected, but I've kind of turned that more into like, Patrick, I mean, what is the worst officiated sport I guess you throw all of it in, because I think SEC football, if you want to break it down by conferences, there's a lot of South Carolina fans who would tell you SEC football officiating is as bad as anything else. Maybe you want to go with college basketball. Maybe you want to go with the NBA, Major League Baseball. I think you're right. There's 27 outs in a game, not counting the pitches that have to be called. So there's more opportunities for us to judge and say that somebody's doing a really bad job. But where do you go with worst officiated sport?
I do think it's basketball. I think they get too involved a lot. Like, I just find it so rare, and especially in like high leverage times. And the NBA, it's worse than college basketball. The end of the games are a nightmare because all the players want to do is draw fouls now too, and they make the refs make a decision to end every game. And how many times is the game decided on free throws or a non-call? And it's never consistent, because in big moments they want to kind of swallow the whistle, but throughout the game they'll just call ticky-tack fouls. Like, there's rarely a consistently called game in the NBA ever. And college basketball, it's kind of hit or miss, but just basketball in general, the nature of it's so fast, contact on every play, guys flopping, like it's just it's really difficult. It's a really hard sport to officiate.
Did you ever, growing up, I did this in high school for extra money and then for a little bit in college. I officiated
soccer ref was my first job.
Really? Yeah. See, I did Little League Baseball out in Lexington. I did what was it? Coach's pitch. I did coach's pitch. I think I did a few minor or like major games, which would have been the kids are pitching, but I did Little League. I did coach's pitch. And it especially early on, I know there are professionals. The umpires are professionals. They've done it for years. They've trained the speed of the game they're accustomed to. But I'm with you on that, because sometimes you get the coach's pitch game and there'd be a play, just a bang, bang play, and you kind of just freak out. You kind of freak out. And even though I know the professionals.
The balls and strikes is incredible what they do. The consistency that they have it so far, like just ever calling a ball and strike correctly with the movement on the pitches and all that stuff, it's really hard to do. And you see videos of them just putting a random fan out there and trying to watch and call a ball or strike. They can never do it. So it is impressive what they do, but again, they're compensated well to be that good at what they do. So you would like it to be better.
Yeah. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on worst officiated sport. We'll also get back into the Ryan Tannehill discussion. One of you weighed in. Let me see if I can go back and find the text, because this is interesting, and I think it kind of is to our point. Anonymous texter says, look at Trevor Lawrence and DJU. Mentorship happens in college football. But here was the thing about that, as opposed to what's going on now with DJU and Cade Klubnik. Trevor knew he was going to be the number one pick.
Yeah.
Like DJ, there is, I think this goes to what coaches like.
Was it like noted that Trevor Lawrence was a great mentor to DJ? I never knew that.
I
guess I never really took note of it.
But they knew their roles. And that's kind of the thing with Ryan Tannehill in the NFL. Like, Ryan Tannehill doesn't know his role here, right? Like with Trevor Lawrence and with DJU. And kind of right now, as we sit here on May the 5th, the Spencer Rattler, Luke Doty role is kind of defined, right? Like, hey, I'm going to be here 1 year.
Yeah.
And you need to learn. And then I'm gone and it's your job. And whatever you do after I leave, that's on you. But I'm here for 1 year. Well, with Trevor Lawrence and DJU, that was kind of the deal, right? Like, Trevor's like, hey, I'm going to be the number one pick next year. Soak up what you can get from me this year.
He knew that when he committed.
I'll help you. And then it's your job for 2 years if you leave a junior, or 3 years if you leave. For Ryan Tannehill, he's 33. He'll be 33. I think he'll be 34, actually, in November.
Well,
he's got years left in him. You just drafted this kid. Like, the NFL, it's kind of if Mike,
he was bad in their last game, like really, really bad.
Well, and there was talk about them trading for Deshaun Watson or going after Aaron Rodgers. There was at least Aaron Rodgers discussion. I don't know how legitimate it was.
Well, he bought a house in Tennessee.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know like how legit the Titans and Aaron Rodgers were. We just know that Aaron Rodgers bought a house. So there at least has been discussion of like, hey, we're looking to upgrade the quarterback position. So now he's in a battle with a guy that I'm sure he's got TVs in his house, is aware that was considered at least top 15 pick going up into the week of the draft. So what, like you said, what do you do?
Normally a third-round pick shouldn't be a threat, but Malik Willis was thought to be the best quarterback in this class until draft weekend, pretty much. So it is a different scenario. There will be pressure.
803-404-6100, how you can join us this morning. Kentucky Joe weighing in. You must go in your lifetime to the Kentucky Derby. Must go once. The $2 betting with a chance to win $100,000 is the most exciting 3 minutes with your clothes on in a crowd. It's a good point. It's a good point, Joe. The atmosphere is electric. Pageantry is elegant. It can be both family friendly and college frat boy crazy. Nothing.
There is
like
nothing
it.
more exhilarating to bet than horse racing,
You do-
without a doubt.
You do get into it because of normally when you do that, you're not doing it by yourself. There's like a group of you around.
No, but even if you are by yourself, just it's short, it's quick. There's fighting for leverage, and you just get fired up. Half the time is spent squinting, trying to figure out which horse is yours. There's nothing like it.
803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. We got Kerry Tharp coming up in about 30 minutes, the Goodyear 400. Also this weekend, along with the Kentucky Derby, you got Gamecock baseball, you got NHL and NBA playoffs. There's a whole bunch going on right now. You can weigh in if you want. 803-404-6100. You can also join us on the Buford Lending live stream. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. I'm sure a lot of you are like me. You've got big plans for the weekend. You're probably thinking now is the time to set up that huge party to watch horse racing this weekend. And if that's the case, you want to make sure you've got a clean home because nobody wants to show up for a fun horse racing party to a dirty home like horses were there previously. So call Zero Res today, 803-262-4020. Get Zero Res with their patented ZR water technology out to your house, scientifically proven to keep your rugs, your tile, your upholstery all insanely clean. And right now, you can schedule today, 803-262-4020, and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, you get a hallway cleaned for free. Again, you can book online, zerorescolumbia.com, or you can give them a phone call, 803-262-4020. Maybe you're thinking about having a nice day on Sunday for Mother's Day. Well, that's right. You can do that as well. All you got to do is call Zero Res today. Get them out to your house tomorrow. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And again, when you mention me, Bill Gunner, and 107.5 The Game, you get a hallway cleaned for free. So book online, zerorescolumbia.com, or give them a phone call, 803-262-4020. Spell it backwards or forwards. Zeros is the right way to clean.
And taking a peek out on what's going on the highways, I-26 westbound at exit 115, still working that earlier accident. Also, previous accident that is in the works, Shop Road at Pineview Drive and Two Notch Road near Park Lane Road. Hunt Club Road at Chatsworth Road, that's an accident that has also just come in, so be careful in those areas. Forecast looking pretty nice for the next several days. Sunny and hot today, 90 for the high. Right now it's 70. 107.5
Actually, as you
the
can see,
game.
I've totally forgot to change the banner there. We haven't had Cory Helms on for the last 2 segments. I've been busy. So I'll have to go back. Let me see here. Let's go back and see what y'all got here. A weekly bass contest. Oh, I'm not going to win that. No, I can't. I don't bass fish enough to be able to do that. And I don't I'm not going to go bass fishing off of the boat that I currently have. So I need to get the center console here in the next year or two. So I appreciate the challenge, but the loser having to wear a pink tutu is a tad too much for me. Corn on high-end Mexican. Okay. Yeah. Basketball, I can officiate with no problem. I guess I just understand the speed of it. Baseball just feels like, I guess because you typically see something about to happen and your mind's made up. And then when a kid drops the ball at first base or all of a sudden it's a bang bang play, you completely freak out and go with your initial gut.
How goes the runner? I just always call everybody safe. Everything's a strike.
That does not speed up the game.
No, okay. Everything's a strike and everybody's out.
I did not see the video of the young boy. And Craig, I do kind of agree. I think you got to go at lunch.
It's probably not great. It's a Yankees fan. The kid's probably. Never mind.
Well, if you're going to start each one at a 1-1 count, why not just have just 2 strikes and 3 balls? I mean, just It's not a competitive spirit. It's that the fishing will. I'm actually about to go more into the catfishing area. Sit on the back of the boat, have the speaker, fix the drinks. The bass fishing, I got to walk around. I have to be more active than I care to be. And when it gets hotter, I don't want to just stroll the docks back and forth. I like to just sit in the late afternoon. (803-404-6100). How you can be a part of the program. If you want to weigh in, 8:19 on a May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, how you can join us this morning. Coming up in about 20 minutes, Kerry Tharp will join us as he does each and every week. The Goodyear 400 this coming weekend. One of the great events along with the Kentucky Derby taking place. So it should be a really fun weekend with because I'm not saying that you've got to be fully invested in NASCAR and follow every week, but when you get an event like this in your state, Darlington, and it's down the road, and it is one of the premier NASCAR events of the year, even if you don't like NASCAR, I feel like it's an event you go and you enjoy, and Jen and Patrick are going to do it the right way. They're going to go be part of the big party on the infield. Patrick's parents have a RV. Jen is just showing up and is offering her tailgating services to anybody who's willing to allow her to.
Actually, no, we're going with a vendor that Darren works with. So we actually have a nice suite that we're going to. So we're
see Jen again, just kind of worked her way in with a vendor that her husband knows. I can see how you did.
I?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not stupid.
I'm still kind of just crossing my fingers and hoping that I can just bring whatever I want in with me. Because I'm bringing a TV. I'm planning on rolling up. My parents will already be there. I have my little pass to get into the infield, but I'm just going to be walking with a TV under my arm and like a cooler in the other hand. So I'm hoping that I can just walk through with that.
You'll have a TV. So if you see a guy walking with a TV, a pillow, and a cooler,
it'll be a backpack. It'll be a backpack, a cooler, and a TV. And that's what I'm going to have.
Just, hey, Patrick from the early game. Good to see you. There you go. So that's what you're looking for. So fun weekend. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone line. Scott wants to weigh in on the Kentucky Derby to talk about some of the weekend. Scott, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm good, guys. Actually, I'll dabble in all of it. So I will say this, regardless whether you're a race fan or not, no questions asked. And in my opinion, and like I said, I'm not a monster race fan, but if it ain't on your bucket list to go and watch Darlington, and there's two ways you got to do it. Number one, you got to go, and if you got an opportunity. The first one I ever went to, Rusty Wallace won. I was actually in one of the skyboxes with Sletta, and it was amazing, unbelievable. The second one I went to was the infield. It's like going to a South Carolina football game and watching it from the stands, and then getting the opportunity to go watch it from the sidelines. It's just two totally different worlds. So you got to put a double dip at Darlington, only Darlington, because Charlotte's one of the boringest races, I think. But Darlington's amazing, great race. You got to watch it from the infield, and you got to watch it from the stands. Unbelievable. Got to put it on your bucket list. As far as worst referees, no questions asked. They win in a landslide. It would be the NCAA refereeing the NCAA and their rules and regulations. No one's worse than the NCAA. And then the Kentucky Derby, what a thing. You got to put that on your bucket list. Amazing, incredible sport. Obviously, I got horses because of my daughter. It's incredible to watch it, incredible to bet on them, obviously, on the race side. But I will say this, you'd mentioned the names and all that. Unfortunately, in the thoroughbred world, they do have to be approved. And that Secretariat deal that y'all were talking about a few days ago, they really wanted to name a Big Red, but they wouldn't take the name. And they sent a bunch of different ones, and they didn't take it. And finally, the Secretary sent in Secretariat, and they accepted it. So that's how that name came about. But most of the time, in the real horse world, their names derive off how they're sired. For example, one of ours is named Hydra Magnum. His dad was a Magnum, so obviously the Magnum name kind of sticks with the generations of the horses as they're born. But that's my 2 cents worth, man. I hope you have a blessed day. Watch the Darlington race. If you can get out there to watch it, trust me, you want it on your bucket list. It's amazing.
Appreciate the phone call, Scott. It's I'm more intrigued now by the picture, the mental image I have of Patrick just wandering through the infield lots, TV in one arm, cooler in another arm, backpack. I feel like you're going to be invited to everybody's tailgate. Just like, come on, son. You'll be our son for a weekend.
I'm hoping that they're not going to say, hey, you can't, what are you doing? You can't bring a TV in, or you can't bring a cool. I assume that you can. I think, right?
Good news for you. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we have a man who will be able to answer that question. You won't have to worry about showing up and worrying. You might even, if there's anything that you need, maybe somebody to override security. Good news, we've got that guy coming up. We'll also make some picks for Darlington this coming weekend. Reggie Anderson, I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. The man hasn't picked 3 races correct in the first 4 years we've done it. All of a sudden, he's got 5 and 7 weeks, 6 and 8 weeks, something absolutely ridiculous that just shows that Reggie is clearly in cahoots with NASCAR brass to fix races. There will be an investigation, and to talk about that investigation, let's go back out to the Love Chevy phone line. Steve wants to weigh in this morning. Steve, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Doing good. I want to preface this by saying, praise the Lord that Mark Emmert is no longer going to be. But I'd like to follow that up with, I'd like to know what you guys know or what you guys think about this Tennessee supposed investigation that has seemed like it has gone away, just like the UNC just went away. Surely they're not going to let them get away with what was done.
My guess is no. To answer your question, and thank you for the phone call, Steve. My guess is no. The last real thing to come out was in January. The investigation is over, but the NCAA has not announced their findings. Obviously, as we know, they've not announced any kind of punishment for Tennessee. But according to multiple reports, Patrick, the investigation at Tennessee is over, and the NCAA maybe will be having some form of an announcement at some point later this year. Now, what could that end up being? I don't know. One other thing that should be said, that if you go back and you look at it, to my knowledge, and according to the article that I just pulled up just to confirm, Tennessee did not receive a notice of allegations from the NCAA. Like that, they, at least according to the Knoxville News article that I've pulled up just to confirm what I had heard, there was no notice of, there was an investigation into some wrongdoings. Tennessee paid over $1 million in legal fees to try and keep themselves from having any problem, and also for an internal investigation that they had. But Patrick, at least the media is unaware of any actual notice of notice of allegations from the NCAA.
I feel like this happens a lot, like in basketball and I guess now football. We know this is all going on, and then it just turns out that there's actually nothing's going to happen. We're just all going to know that it happened, but there will be no punishment.
So, Steve, you would think it's not just going to be swept under the rug, but at this point in time,
don't bank on it.
That's the way it kind of looks. We'll come back. We will get into a little bit more of some sports, some Cinco de Mayo talk, and Kerry Tharp coming up in about 13 minutes. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. Yes, getting out, tailgating, like Patrick's talking about. Now, I don't really know, at a football tailgate, you throw the football around. I've seen a baseball tailgate, you throw the baseball around. Jen, if you go to a NASCAR tailgate, do you drive a car around you let the kids, do you bring little cars and let them drive it around during the tailgate?
I'm bringing my Matchbox cars.
There you go, like that.
Perfect.
Okay.
I love that. That'll be fun.
Even if you have joint pain, you could be able to participate in a NASCAR tailgate because it's just like little Matchbox cars. But if you want to get out and actually do some walking, get up the stands, go see the actual event this coming weekend, you probably need to be in good health. And if you've been suffering from joint pain, if you've had problems with your knees, your back, your ankles, anything that has to do with your joints, you need to call QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. It's natural biologic treatments that are certainly going to help the issues that you have in your joints. So don't wait a day longer. Get back to living the life you want to live. 803-281-6860. That's how you can get in touch with QC Kinetics. And most importantly, you can get a free consultation. So that's right. You don't even have to spend money right off the bat. You can call QC Kinetics today, 803-281-6860. This is absolutely life-changing treatments. You can get back to moving like you used to with no drugs, no surgery, and most importantly, no downtime. So if you've been having nagging pain in your knees, hips, your shoulders, your backs, and you're just done with it all, you've had enough, and you're tired of taking steroids or addictive pain medications, you want to get back to living the life you have enjoyed, call QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. Again, you can get a free consultation and learn all about these amazing natural biologic treatments. 803-281-6860. That's QC Kinetics. All right. Just a little bit longer. Let me go back to that. Actually,
Casey, I'm going to Austin in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Give me
Ooh.
some more. Give me some more places. I have heard of Torchy's.
Turkey tacos.
Yeah. I've watched a bunch of travel videos.
Oh, so you're ready to go?
Yeah. Every time I go on a trip, I do a lot of research.
$8:34 on a Thursday morning, May the 5th. Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Carrie Tharp will join as Darlington Raceway president. Actually, normally I thank Carrie for taking time out of his busy schedule to join us each and every Thursday. That's never more true than this week when the president is trying to get ready. The president of Darlington is trying to get ready for a massive race. Jen, which one do you think is their signature event? I was going to say, I went to say because it's Mother's Day, but Labor Day is. Yeah, I guess to go back, as I said that out loud, I know more people. I know more people that go this weekend because Mother's Day is a little bit different. Whereas Labor Day weekend, while it's a big weekend, what takes center stage in this state? Football. But no, football. I mean, college is the opening weekend of college football. So, there was a stretch there, obviously under Steve Spurrier, where South Carolina opened on a Thursday night, but you still had Clemson opening generally on Saturday. And obviously in the South, football is going to supersede NASCAR. But that's why I said that, because in this state, you don't have anything else this weekend that really tops Darlington. You don't have a spring game. Sometimes the spring game falls on Heritage Weekend like it did this year, and I feel like the spring game overshadows the Heritage a little bit. That's why I kind of asked you. I get it that the true Southern 500 is Labor Day weekend. But I know more people who are kind of like, "Come on, Mom, you're going to Darlington this weekend as your president."
Yeah.
As your president, that's where you get to go. But Labor Day weekend, while it's a big event, I feel like it gets lost in the jumble of college football weekend a little bit. It gets lost in NFL a tad, even though NFL is like a week away. This one I feel like is highlighted much more for our state because of what's going on. You think I'm wrong on that though?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of up there in the Coca-Cola 600. I mean, the Darlington is just steeped in such tradition. I just feel like it still can kind of stand on its own. And they haven't had this one at this time of year for quite nearly as many years, obviously.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't know.
but also as you said it there, the throwback paint schemes this weekend, certainly kind of throwback
fun.
weekend, really fun. So we'll catch up with Kerry Tharp here in just a few minutes and get his take and make our pick. Is he allowed? He's not allowed to pick this one, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not
I think
like
it was like a Herb Street.
I
Situation.
don't know. Like, A, he might have inside knowledge. B, he might be down there
What
doctoring
could the
cars.
inside knowledge be?
Right.
He might know something that's going on.
He has inside knowledge every single week because.
But
he's
if
the president of race-
if they've been at his track all week, he might be down there scoping cars out.
I'm pretty sure a good hint is whoever is on the pole was the fastest, right? That's
Yeah.
like inside knowledge.
Yeah,
But that
that's
doesn't
about as
take
much
place,
inside knowledge as
No,
it gets.
for you, yeah. But what is he? He
He's
just
down there
knows.
talking to
He
drivers.
just knows more about NASCAR. That is his inside knowledge.
Correct. Yeah.
Carrie will come up in just a few minutes. We've been talking obviously a lot of sports with more so with officiating after Madison Bumgarner ejected in the first inning last night. We've talked a little bit about Ryan Tannehill and the responsibility of quarterbacks really to be mentors, veteran. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting discussion there. And we've talked a little bit South Carolina baseball winning 9-4 last night over North Carolina A&T. But we've also spent a lot of time on Cinco de Mayo. And it feels like, granted, by the time our polls wrap up this morning, we will our polls will wrap up this evening. I have got the one out that says Margaritas, frozen or on the rocks. You can go and check that out at my Twitter account at Will Gunter. Frozen making a little bit of a comeback there. A little bit of a comeback. 68% for on the rocks, 32% for frozen. So how about that? Some of the frozen margarita drinkers are finally coming out of their slumber from the morning and hopping on Twitter. Yes?
I still feel it's very important that we do a test. I'm just saying.
What do you think we're doing after the show?
Good point. Yeah.
Patrick has put out tortillas. What do you got? Flour or corn? 69% going with flour tortillas. 31% saying corn tortillas. Yeah. You got plenty of time to go and vote on both of those this morning if you want to do so. So we've gotten into all of that. We've talked a little bit. A lot of people weighing in on the Mexican beers, Patrick. Modelo, Dos Equis, and Pacifico. What exactly is the Pacifico beer? Is that kind of like what you don't know? Have you ever had one?
What do you mean? Yeah.
No, is it like a more of a IPA? Is it more of a heavier beer?
No,
more of a lighter beer? What do we got there? I don't
no,
think
I think it's light. I don't know how
more like a
healthy it
Corona
is, but-
or
No, it's not. It's like a Pilsner. It's like a Mexican Pilsner.
okay. There we go.
Mexican style Pilsner, I would say.
Okay. Well, that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of this
I'm a
morning.
Pilsner guy.
We like to keep you informed and
It's gonna be a Miller
entertained.
Lite weekend.
Trying to see, yes, it's listed as a you must have just read the same thing I'm reading. A Mexican Pilsner style beer named so because of the Pacifico brewery located in the Pacific Ocean. So
It's
there
just
you go.
that's why I like because I drink Pilsners.
I should have added the
Miller Lite's a Pilsner.
Port City. It's not located in the Pacific Ocean. That'd be strange. So
Be pretty cool.
Would be pretty
Quite
cool.
the destination.
Like a destination brewery. 803-404-6100. How you can be a part of the program. Matt weighing in 10 seconds of NHL news. We have talked NHL. Carolina Hurricanes take a 2-0 series lead in the first round of the Stanley Cup. That was a physical game last night. Absolutely physical. Really fun to watch. NHL playoffs really getting going, and we'll talk more about that, really, Patrick, next week as we roll through. If you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100. But up next, Kerry Tharp, Darlington Raceway president, he joins us. It's time to talk about the Goodyear 400. The man with the inside knowledge will join us next. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Casey, I just immediately passed this along. We have a running notes app of all the places that we're trying to go.
Prisma Orthopedics here.
And yes, almost summertime. Maybe you want to get out on the golf course, play some football. Bill's all into the soccer right now, although he's 40 and he's maybe not going to be athletic anymore. But you want to be feeling good if you're going to get out there and get active this summer. So you need to make sure that joint pain's not affecting you. Get out there and check out our friends at Prisma Health Orthopedics. They are the official team physicians for the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Clemson Tigers. So they will give you and your family the same care they provide to the top athletes in the state. They are the most comprehensive orthopedic group in the region. They've got 65 specialists at 6 locations to best serve you. So if hip and knee pain is making your daily life difficult, you need to seek the best care. Find out if joint pain is affecting your quality of life by taking a free health assessment. Don't let that hip or knee pain hold you back. They are the region's most trusted orthopedic practice with a deep-rooted history spanning nearly a century, and they're leaders in innovative procedures and teaching the next generation of orthopedic physicians. They can offer a full-service walk-in orthopedic urgent care clinic for all sports injuries, for strains, for sprains, fractures, as well as just chronic joint pain, and they offer that free health assessment, so you need to get out there and check it out. Prisma Health Orthopedics has built a foundation for patient-centered care and innovation that results in the best possible services for their patients. So you can learn more by visiting prismahealth.org/orthopedics, prismahealth.org/orthopedics.
And still a few tie-ups, she says, to let you know about. Fish Hatchery Road at Pine Ridge Drive. There is a tie-up there.
Trying to get the research very quickly.
What am I supposed to wear?
You can ask.
No, I'm not gonna ask Carrie that.
Okay.
This is a live stream question. Carrie, I'm asking. Carrie's a logistics question. But what should I wear?
I think what you're wearing is fine. I mean, granted,
Do I need to wear? I don't think I need to wear a polo though.
Ow.
I'm not wearing a tank top.
Also,
Hawaiian shirt.
I think you get on board with that. Yeah, I think a Hawaiian shirt is a good fit.
I don't have jorts. Jorts would be nice.
They would be good.
Tank top and polarized Oakleys.
What? Oh yeah, Anthony. We had children coming back in the 90s. That's actually pretty funny.
Anything with a U.S. flag on it.
8:47, final segment here of the early game.
I was signing to Anthony on the live.
Oh,
stream.
okay.
15.
All right. As we roll along here, fun weekend is in front of us. You got a lot of really good sporting events. The NHL playoffs are finally underway. Those are always very entertaining. Last night, the Carolina Hurricanes thumping the Boston Bruins 5-2. Hurricanes now head up to Boston. So you got NHL playoffs. The NBA playoffs are taking place. That's always pretty entertaining. Miami Heat last night hammering the Philadelphia 76ers. They're up 2-0. You got the Kentucky Derby this weekend. That's always a fun event. But locally, it's time for the Goodyear 400. And a man who knows a thing or two about the Goodyear 400 and about Darlington, but only a thing or two, Kerry Tharp, the president of Darling Raceway. I said this a minute ago on the previous segment. I always thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us. That is really relevant to this weekend when, you're trying to do other things, but you've got to join a goofy radio show that's talked about flour or corn tortillas all morning.
Well, I tell you, I circle this time every single week on my calendar, Bill. It's something that, it would take almost a natural disaster for me not to call in and be on this show every Thursday.
Oh, that's awesome.
I totally enjoy it. I just want to make sure that I continue my education, getting you guys coached up about NASCAR. As you can see in our picks, how well I'm doing. But it's a lot of fun to be on the show with you guys. And this week's a lot of fun. Excuse me. We're already having people on our property. The campground's open Tuesday. We had our track laps last night. We got an 80s party tonight. So, the official throwback weekend of NASCAR is well underway.
Patrick, ask your question here so you can get an answer.
Well, Bill's been laughing at the mental image that I presented, but my parents have the spot in the infield, and I'm meeting them on Saturday morning, but I'm supposed to bring the TV, and Bill's laughing at the image of me walking with a TV under my arm, a backpack on my back, and a cooler in the other hand, walking through trying to get in the infield. That I can do that, right?
Absolutely. Okay. You can do that only at Darlington. Okay.
I mean, look, Kerry, like we said, he's going to be everybody's friend.
Yeah.
Like everybody's going to see a guy with a cooler and a TV and be like, "Come on, young man, come right on over to this tailgate. We got plenty of food."
That's right.
What am I looking at logistically?
You know what?
How far is that walk from the parking lot to the infield?
They'll be more interested in the cooler than they will the TV.
100%, man.
Kerry, how far is that walk from the parking lot to the infield? Because I will have my hands full. I'm curious. Am I biting off more than I can chew?
Oh, you'll be fine. We have a golf cart service here called Joyride, and you look for one of the golf carts that has Joyride sign on it. Flag them down. They'll give you a ride inside the into the infield. You should be set.
Perfect.
Nice.
I wanna-
Safe inside. Inside
Service.
I want to go back to something you just talked about because I didn't know, not that I probably should know about it, but I didn't know. But you just mentioned other events that y'all do leading up. You mentioned an 80s party tonight. Give us a little insight into what that is. If people are heading down, obviously, that people in this town are not afraid to take a Friday off, Cory, and it's Cinco de Mayo. But talk a little bit about some of the other events that you do have leading up. You mentioned the party. You mentioned some other events that sound really cool that y'all do, not just the race on Sunday, but leading up to the event.
Well, we want to make sure that our fans, when they arrive on property, that they have plenty of options to choose from. In fact, we even had a track laps event last night. We had about 150 cars and trucks out here, people taking laps around the track for a donation to a local charity.
See,
tonight we have an 80s party. What's that?
I was going to say, I've done the track lap thing, and I'm definitely planning on doing it again, but I want to make sure I take Bill with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. But tonight we have an 80s party, dance party over in the Midway. That starts at 7. We've got 80s music. We've got a mullet contest, lip sync contest, air guitar test. We're giving out glow pops and all kinds of things that are 80s centric. And fans, really, if you're coming from out of town or even in the community, just go through gate 34 there behind the front stretch and park in the Midway. And we should have a great time there tonight. It starts at 7 o'clock. And, I wish you guys could come down, Bill, because I think maybe you might be up for a mullet contest.
You say that jokingly, not that I have long hair right now, but my hair grows out significantly in the back. And Candace Dowie, who cuts my hair, has not seen me in about 5 or 6 weeks. And I really honestly might challenge for that. Like you guys laugh, but I would put myself in one of the top 5 spots. Cory, let's ask you. You've seen a lot of races down there, and there are guys that win on a consistent basis down there that are good. What makes a good Darlington Raceway driver? What gives somebody a little bit of the advantage when they come to Darlington?
Well, that's a good question, Bill. But I think patience is one trait that they need to have. I think that this race is a test of not only of the driver, but of the car, and especially the tires. And the tires here at Darlington fall off very, very quickly. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is the surface here is so abrasive that after about 15 or 20 laps, the tire wear starts, and you start kind of not going as fast as you would if you had brand new tires. So, anytime you pit here at Darlington, you're probably going to get a set of 4 Goodyear Eagle tires. And so, but patience is a real virtue to have. And, I've seen races here where guys have led 3/4 of the race, and then all of a sudden, the last 30 or 40 laps, something happens and their time falls off, and then somebody comes to get a win. So obviously, you don't have to always lead all the laps, but here at Darlington, I'd say the last 50 or 60 laps is when your car really has to come alive. And that's usually when the race is won. I've seen a lot of comeback wins here at Darlington.
Do you see a manufacturer that really performs better here? It seems as though in recent years it's been kind of like Toyota and Chevy camps that seem to perform well. I don't know, with the new body, the new car in general. Do you see that continuing, or any thoughts?
Well, that's a great question. The next gen car is kind of a leveled the playing field for everybody this year. And, I think the Chevrolets maybe have caught on a little quicker. But when you look at Darlington of recent memory, and the team that sticks out in my mind is Joe Gibbs Racing. And certainly you got Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch. They've all won multiple times here at Darlington. So I think they're going to be tough to contend with. But then you look and see who's been performing well this year. It's certainly the Chevy camp, Hendrick Motorsports, Trackhouse Racing in particular. I think it's kind of a wide open deal, Jen. But certainly there's there's probably 8 or 10 drivers that you better take a hard look at if you were out there handicapping the race on Sunday.
Oh, what a segue. What a professional right there, because
he's a pro.
That's what we're going to do. All right. We have got to make some picks here. Just astounding. The upset of the year. It doesn't matter what else happens, that Reggie Anderson is up, just dominating performance too early on. 43 points for he, 33 for me. You and Jen, Carrie, y'all got 26. So you and Jen need to kick it into at least second gear and get out of idle.
Yes, we do.
And then I'm just waiting for Reggie. He'll blow a tire here sooner or later, and I'll pass him. But let's make some picks. Let's make some picks. Carrie, you're up first. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to go with a guy who actually participated in the Goodyear tire test here about 3-4 weeks ago, and that's Kyle Larson. He almost won here last year. Almost beat. I guess it was Hamlin there to the line. But I'm going to go with Kyle Larson. I think it's time for him to win at Darlington, so I'll go with the 5 car.
It's exactly who I was picking. Oh, my gosh, because I just think that the young blood, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Chastain. He has been having such a run.
Oh, yeah.
He did well last year. I don't know. I'm going to say the young gun gets it.
There you go.
I like it when my top pick falls to me. Last year, he became a 2-time winner last year. Martin Truex Jr. led for 248 out of the 293 laps. He's very good on this racetrack. 4 top 5 finishes. I've got to just get into the top 3 to make sure I secure the most points. I like Martin Truex Jr. this weekend, Carrie.
That's a pretty good pick. I must agree.
Take care. Good luck this weekend. Take care of Patrick. Keep an eye on him.
I will. Patrick. Hey, Patrick, if you get lost, call me up. Okay?
I will. Appreciate it. See you soon.
See everybody tomorrow.
Okay,
it's the early game. 107.5 The Game.
All right. Everybody, have a good one. It's almost Friday.